Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Nothing free about free agency. I'm telling you.
Until they go out there and make a splash on the receiver market, it's not going to feel complete. It's not going to feel...
Before we get into what they haven't done yet, let's talk about what they have done.
We got to be honest about it.
We will get to that. I want to talk about who they've signed first.
I'm getting there.
Because everyone writes in and is like,
Welker.
he stunk, he stunk, he stunk. He started all year, but he stunk too. I didn't really see enough out of Woodson. He stunk. Question for Paul and the group on their favorite topic of free agent contracts.
My bad, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, we're doing math over here.
Should I read that again so you can hear it?
Well, 3 years at 11 is 33.
Let them finish. I'll read this again. Michelle, who loves it when I call, excuse me, when I call her Shalata.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium and free agent frenzy going on at Gillette Stadium. 7 free agents signed so far, something like that.
More than
believe
that.
More than that?
I believe eight.
And most of them are in the building today, so it's very busy time here. It's going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes content that you're going to be seeing later on Patriots.com and Patriots social
9.
accounts. There'll be some press conferences
Lucetta.
coming up
Yeah.
later on this afternoon. So the car wash is going on with free agents. So let's get right into it. It's Evan, Paul, it's Deuce, it's me, it's Matt in the booth. Let's talk about some of these signings that they've made. Very sensible, heady, chestnut checker signings.
Nice. Well done.
I like how you said it, Fred. Well, let's start with Romeo Doubs because he was signed, I think, about 60 seconds after we got off the
Yeah,
air.
I just want to thank
haven't
Vrabel and
talked
Stretch
about
for
that
that
on
one.
the I think they did it yesterday too with Byard.
Yeah.
Catch 22 ended in 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Kevin
I
Byard.
mean, I'm
was
going to
signed.
forgive them if
waiting
they
us
don't know
out.
about Catch 22. But I mean,
That's the podcast they got to be worried about.
I think in their heads, they're actually giving us respect. We don't want to step on their show.
Right.
So we'll wait with our news until they're done.
Yeah, right. Well,
Interesting way to, interesting take.
Yeah.
built up a little bit. There's plenty to talk
Go
about.
ahead, Mike. Romeo
Stretches
Doubs.
his-
Romeo
Mike, it's
Doubs.
over.
I
You
would
go.
say my impression of Romeo Doubs is that good at a lot of things, maybe not great at a particular thing. Evan wrote, a really good piece breaking him down. My impression of him: strong hands, tough player, good on contested catches. Maybe not the speedy burner kind of a guy, but ability to get open quick. A lot of his touchdowns are right off the line down there. Just, quick slant, move and go. Again, love his hands and his ability to catch the ball. So I think he's a really versatile piece for Josh McDaniels. It makes sense to me that he's going to move him around, do a bunch of different stuffs. And as Paul's pointed out, you needed to replace Stephon Diggs. I think this is a pretty good replacement for, I think he can maybe do more than what Diggs did last year, but we'll see how production
we have to do this exercise with anyone who has that type of potential. Why is he available?
Yeah, well, I think
Why did the Packers?
Green Bay's been they're drafting wide
receivers.
receivers over and over and over again. I think they're ready to turn it over to the Texas.
They
kid
have good depth at the
from
position.
last year.
Yeah, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Christian
Yeah.
Watson when he's healthy. Tucker Kraft will be back at tight end. So they have a lot of mouths to feed already. This is a move that the people are really high on across the league. A ball knower type of move that you got to really watch this kid. And the production isn't eye-popping. It's 726 receiving yards, I think it was last year, which was his career high so far. It doesn't jump out at you, but when you watch the tape and you think about the way that Green Bay offense, the volume is just not necessarily there because they run the ball a decent amount, they spread it around a decent amount, so they're not necessarily featuring one receiver who's getting a high volume of targets. Just the only thing I'd add to what Deuce said about his skill set, this is a really good route runner. He's a really good separator against man coverage. He's got a great feel for zone. Good job running, little options or conversions within the route tree. He's a really sudden, smart, savvy route runner. Similar, I would say, in that respect to Diggs, where this is a guy that can really has a feel for getting open and sort of understands that part of the craft. So I think this is a 1-for-1 replacement. He's here to play the Diggs role and take the snaps that Diggs left behind, and hopefully the production as well.
How about the safety?
Kevin Byard. I mean, when I saw he was a free agent this year, I'm like, well, that makes too much sense. I mean, Vrabel talked about him during the season. The quote's been going back around how he compared him to Hunter Henry, just consummate professional, outstanding year last year. Was first team All-Pro and a Pro Bowl for the third time. It's an interesting swap for me with Jalen Hawkins because he's a little bit older, still playing at a high level. But you saw as soon as he kind of signed, Hawkins ended up going to the Ravens. So on paper, it seems like that's the replacement. And I mean, it's good leadership, really good player. Hopefully he can hang on. I mean, he's been incredibly healthy over the course of his career. He has not missed many games. Hopefully that can continue. And if it does, I think it really helps
older.
Craig Woodson. Yeah,
What is he,
33.
33.
He'll be
Yeah.
33 by the time the season rolls
But he
around.
did have a good season.
Great season.
Not a lot of money, $9 million a year or
I
something.
think it was
like that. 1 year deal.
1 for 9. Yeah, 1 for 9.
Max.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money, huh?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just interested. What interests me most about this is just how it helps Craig Woodson. Craig Woodson really came on at the end of the season, playing with Hawkins. Now you've got Byard, who obviously can do everything that Vrabel wants to do in this defense. So I think it's an exciting move. It's just it's one of those ones where you hope he doesn't start to get banged up or the age doesn't catch up with him. But if he's continues to do what he's been doing, he's going to be a really good player. I think they got better at that position with Byard.
I do too. And that to me is the only thing I care about. I was a little, I like this move. I was a little surprised by it because of the way Vrabel talked. Because it doesn't really, we wanted to get younger and cheaper, and you got older and more expensive at the spot. Now, I think he's a better player than Jalen Hawkins. You guys know that I am not the biggest Jalen Hawkins fan out there. So I personally think you got better.
Yeah.
So that's the 3 boxes: younger, cheaper, and more talented.
Yeah.
I think you check the more talented. There is a concern. A lot of the guys they signed have some kind of sketchy injury history. This guy does not. This guy plays every game, every year. So you sort of roll the dice with a 33-year-old guy, but then you look and you say, the guy literally missed 1 game in 10 years.
Yeah.
And last year, I think he played like
At
every
safety?
I
That's
think
impressive.
he played like every snap last year.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
it's
he
not
missed,
even
like,
just that he
1
plays
snap.
every
You
game.
see that from guards sometimes,
Yeah.
but not from.
So
yeah.
I like this signing a lot because, more so because I don't really love Jalen Hawkins, and I didn't believe in the Jalen Hawkins hype train last year. I got a lot of pushback from it, but it tells me that he wasn't willing to sign with what they wanted him to sign for, and he ends up going to Baltimore. I think he got like 2 and 10.
Yeah.
On paper. Who knows what the guarantee is? I didn't check into that, but they looked at Byard as a better option.
Yep.
Oh, he's a better player.
He's
for
a
sure.
much better player.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a conversation that we can have about the future of that spot and who's going to be next to Craig Woodson in the long term. But this is maybe one of the best ball hawking safeties of his era. Like, he's really that kind of player. When you watch him on tape, it's almost uncanny how good he is at knowing where the ball's going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has an eye
Like
for the
Ed
football.
Reed?
Yeah.
And
well,
just
dropping off stuff. I mean,
instincts and just like understanding route combinations of like, this is where they're trying to attack in the defense right now, and I'm just gonna jump the route, but I'm not gonna jump it too early because I want him to throw it, so I'm gonna kind of bait him into this throw. I mean, he just has some incredible instincts like that.
I just hope he still has something. I mean, the season he's coming off was tremendous. I just hope he has something left.
I think he does. He moves
It's a lot
fine.
of lot of wear and tear on those tires.
I would say like you don't want to put him in man coverage. Like if he gets put into man to man against like a dynamic tight end or something like that, that's probably not a matchup that you want him in. But you kind of assume that a guy like Craig Woodson or maybe somebody they draft as a third safety would be a little bit more capable of doing something like that. You want Byard to see ball, get ball. Like you want him to have eyes in the backfield and just reading quarterbacks.
So would you consider those two guys the top so far of our free agent class?
Yeah.
I think Vera Tucker.
Vera
is
Tucker.
also-
Vera Tucker,
too,
Okay.
but-
Yeah.
As more details have come out though about Vera Tucker's contract, it makes you realize it's highly incentive laden. So they're aware of his injury history, and that's it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum from Byard. But you're just hoping, can they play the
Are
game?
you considering the game day roster bonuses incentives?
Yeah, is that,
Okay.
is that yeah? Is
No,
that,
I'm just
I misspeak?
clarifying.
Is
I
that-
didn't
is
know
that
if there
how-
was incentives that I wasn't aware about, like
Yeah.
Pro Bowl.
no.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
to me,
I
those
mean,
are
he
incentives.
signed
Yes, I
a-
got you.
Like if he
signed a
plays in the
three-
game, he could play like
Yeah,
crap.
game day
and he's getting his
active.
money.
Right.
Like he doesn't have to play at a level.
No, that's what
to
I mean.
get his money.
Just
Well,
being
he has a
active,
$6 million incentive package that you're talking about.
So that's okay.
because he got 3 for 42 with up to 48 million
Right.
possible. So he
Yeah.
has probably playing time incentives, maybe a Pro Bowl incentive. Because I think if he's healthy, he
it's
could
a
he could be
$21 million
pushing that.
guarantee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't have to do anything to make 21.
Mhm.
So this is an investment.
Yeah, I mean, it's opposite in the spectrum. You're hoping they can meet in the middle, and
It's
hopefully
the
Vera
highest.
Tucker can
It's
play
the
a bunch-
highest risk one
know.
out of the. Dobbs has missed some games, but I think he's been fairly productive when he plays. This is why I brought him up like 2 weeks ago, because I didn't really ever believe in the Alec Pierce interest. Now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they really did have interest, and maybe he just wanted to stay in Indianapolis. I don't have any. I always like to say. Remember when Andy was here, and we used to say like, if only we had sources. I don't really have any sources. I just sort of look at stuff like Mike says. Kevin Byard, a guy that spent a lot of time with Mike Vrabel. You just connect dots. And that was, to me, how I looked at Romeo Doubs. Not because I thought he was like this, blossoming superstar. I think he is what he is. I think he's a solid number 2 type receiver, and I think he'll replace most, if not all, of what you had from Diggs. I think he can be a guy that goes from like 55, 60 catches to 75, 80 catches easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Because of all the things that Evan and Mike said about his route running ability, his hands, his versatility.
Yeah.
I just thought it made sense.
Yeah.
No, you nailed this one. I when he was coming out of college, he was much more profiled as like a bigger downfield receiver that was going to like win jump balls at the catch point. And I think during his time in Green Bay, he's kind of become a much better route runner and a much more quicker mover than he was coming out of college. And that was, so I was kind of, in my opinion, I was kind of going off of what I knew of the player instead of what he's kind of become. And once I started to dig into his tape, like he's definitely more of a technician now than he was in school. So I think that's a feather in his cap. Now I still have reservations about, not to do the whole wide receiver one thing, but is he that guy? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 41 first downs last year. He had the 5th highest rate of receptions going for first downs in the league last year. Diggs had 51 first downs for the Patriots on higher volume. So like he's, from an efficiency standpoint, he's right there to replace like the chain moving element that Stephon Diggs brought to the table.
So I like that
at a
about
higher
him.
volume.
Yeah, I like his skill set with Drake too. I mean, I just like his hands stood out to me. He's just big, strong hands catcher of the football. And I think those are the kind of plays. I mean, there's a number where Jordan Love's just chucking it down the field and he can go up and get the ball. So I think it's a good match for Drake. I just wonder, and we'll get into this as we start our draft countdown show this week, how does it affect the need? And do you look at it now and say, when we get into the draft, not to skip out of the draft, but do you look at more of an outside guy now? Do you try to find a little bit more size and speed for the outside to complement him? Or are you still interested in guys like we talked about, Concepcion, who's going to be an inside similar player, right? I mean, him and Omar Cooper probably very similar to what Doubs does. Do you still consider those guys, or do you look more towards
Interesting.
Brazel or Boston?
That's where I'm
big
at.
outside guys that have a
I
presence.
think we're back in that. I mean, this is Diggs, right? Like he's going to play a role similar to Stephon Diggs. Diggs played the majority of his snaps in the slot last year.
What? They moved him there because they weren't playing him there early, right,
It was
Paul?
50. It was
right, Mike.
It was 50-50. It was very even. I'll put that out there. But just pure slot snaps. Doubs was much more of an X receiver in Green Bay, but they run a lot of condensed formation where like everybody is really in tight to the middle of the field. So it's kind of, comes out in the wash, I would say. Like to me, that's what he's going to play more of here. He played a lot more X for the Packers than I anticipate him playing here. He was a lot more of an outside guy in isolation, like that sort of thing. I think here they're going to move him inside and move him around the formation a lot more.
Yeah.
One other thing I liked about Doubs, Freddie, was he's played really well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that was kind of disappointing with Diggs. We had heard that reputation in Buffalo, that he wasn't great down the stretch and in the playoffs. And then we saw his production anyway tailed off
the
for the Patriots
the
last year.
Packers game last year is a clinic. Like if you really want to get excited about that guy, about Doubs, like go turn on the Packers playoff game from last year. He had 8 for 124 and a touchdown. Just slot fades, crossing routes, little routes over the middle of the field to convert third downs. I mean, he was putting on an absolute show.
Really interesting guy off the field too. I mean, I listened to some of his interviews, read some of the stories about his background. I mean, he's from South Central Los Angeles. Got out of that area, a lot of gang activity growing up. Also, interesting story with him at the combine. I guess he said like as soon as he got off the plane in Indy, he had like food poisoning or something. So a lot of the interviews he did during the combine, he had the chills and was nauseous, and I think some of the teams kind of didn't know how to read it. He's a very quiet guy too. I mean, he's not that wide receiver personality.
Was he like a 4th round
Very,
pick?
I think so. Yeah. But
remember.
quiet,
'Cause they
kinda
drafted
measured
both
guy.
those guys, right?
Yeah.
Not one to
In the same
kind of
draft.
hype himself up, and sometimes you get the cliches of it's just about the wins in the team, but with him, he's just very quiet and reserved, and it comes off as he really seems like that kind of guy who doesn't really get high or low, seems pretty in the middle. I'm excited to see he's going to come out here today, and we'll get to hear. I think,
So
a
those are
little
the
bit
two
from him.
big ones, Freddie, but they did make a handful of others.
Yeah, so they get the tight end out of Miami.
Yeah, Julian Hill. Saw Mike Reiss report today. 3 years, $18 million. I don't know what the guarantee is. So, but 3 years. That they view him as the backup tight end. I would think if they're giving him that kind of a term. He's got a reputation as a blocker, so that fits. He's not much of a receiver. And he's another guy.
So, Evan, you get your blocking tight end. I
26
know that's
years old.
important to you.
I will say, I reading a little bit about this yesterday, wildly varying evaluations of his ability as a blocker. Some say he's tremendous. Some say he's terrible.
Well, his PFF grade was terrible. So
Okay.
if you're only going by PFF grades and
So
you haven't
maybe
actually
that's-
watched the guy play,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
Yeah.
people are seeing the PFF grade. But I saw some Miami people. I had a few Miami people reach out to me on Twitter when I posted about him yesterday, and I had a couple of Miami people say, "You're really going to like this guy. He competes. He's good, solid blocker." And others say, "Every time he's out there, there's a penalty. He's a penalty waiting to happen. He can't block anybody." So I don't know.
Yeah. The PFF grades are not kind to him in terms of his run blocking, but I think he can hold down that part of the position. I think you would like to hope that a draft pick is coming that's going to give you some more ceiling and
You
more
guys have
receiving
talked about the
upside.
tight end class.
Yeah.
in the
So
draft.
this guy, Hill, I think you're hoping is really going to be like a
third
situational
tight end.
third tight end that
Mhm.
playing on the goal line, playing on 3rd and 1, that sort of thing.
catch a couple 1-yard touchdowns.
Right.
And
right.
you
Little
go out and
block
get
for a second and then slip out, dump off past him.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it's to me these signings, with Mike Brown too, providing some depth are.
Mike Brown and KJ Britt, two special
Yeah.
teamer guys. That,
So
yeah.
I mean, and this is free agency to me. Like I really like what they've done this year. I still see a little bit of a gap at the edge position. Of course, we can talk about Chase on as well, who left. But I really like the tight end just because I feel like it gives them some flexibility. Where if you do want to try to take one of these athletic guys that all right, he's not going to be an all-around wide tight end that's going to, but he's going to be a guy who can move. Maybe that becomes and the Aaron Hernandez type, the guy that Josh can play with and move, and there's not the pressure to have to find a complimentary blocker for Hunter Henry. You have a guy who's kind of protected. We can pick our spots with him. So it makes me more excited about the tight end class in the draft. I didn't know if they would, go for a little bit more expensive kind of guy and really get that tight end 2 spot. Like Paul said, this feels like TE3 to me with an opportunity to draft somebody that maybe could contribute in the past.
Speaking of Chase on, he had a very nice post yesterday thanking everybody in the organization for his time here. So that
I was shocked by that. This is his third
What, you
year.
were shocked by
I
the
was shocked that he
release, or
signed.
that he-
He signed a 1-year deal worth $12 million. I thought he's done it back-to-back years. He spoke a lot about wanting to find a home. I thought he earned himself a lucrative multi-year contract with his playoff run, and then to see him sign another 1-year deal, to me, I mean, I felt like the Patriots could have done that if they wanted to. So to me, it makes it seem like I don't know if I think we said it on the show where it feels a little bit more like Draymond Jones is kind of that replacement. That's him. That's what they went with.
And I was a little surprised by. I'm with Mike on this one. I thought that when I saw they signed Jones, I figured well that means they don't think that they're in the market. But I mean, they gave Jones more money, certainly more guaranteed. Almost double guaranteed. So I was a little surprised that a 1 year, maybe just people just aren't believing still. So he's, because 1 year, $12 million, that's a good payday.
Yeah.
But it's just like you figured after signing back-to-back years for 1 year that you'd be able to get a multi-year deal. And
what did he get? What did they
evidently
give him
couldn't.
last year?
It's like
Like
5 or
8.
something, 8.
1.5.
Yeah.
Maybe that's wrong, but I wrote down 1.5.
I thought it was
so.
1 and 5 too, but I think
Yeah.
it might have been like Evan
Up
with
to
the
8.
with the incentives and stuff.
I think that there's. It seems to me like they just decided that we're just not really going to overreact to the fact that we made the Super Bowl, because all these moves that they have made feel like moves that they probably were going to make whether they made the Super Bowl or they had a nice 8-9 season and kind of made a little bit of progress.
I agree.
Because
I agree with that.
Anthony Jennings had a great playoff run. They still cut him just the way that he's been kind of writing on the wall for going all the way back to training camp last August. Kayvon Chason was here on a 1-year deal as a holdover kind of stopgap type of player. They didn't overextend and didn't re-sign him. Garrett Bradbury being kind of a one-and-done player with Jared Wilson moving back to his regular position at center. Like, all these things I think were Jelani Tavai. Like,
Jennings.
we knew this was coming. We
Yeah.
knew this is
I mean,
coming for
even,
6 months, and they did it now. You know,
Yeah,
Yep.
even like a guy like Jack Gibbons, who I don't
just gonna say.
close the door on him yet, but they according to Mike Reiss, they did not offer him an RFA tender. So like you look at the guy like a KJ Britt, is that like Jack Gibbons?
Yeah.
A guy a linebacker by trade who's going to play special teams. Can he fill in a pinch? I don't know. Hasn't played a ton.
That's exactly what I was going to bring
Yeah.
up. Sorry to cut you off, Paul,
No,
but that,
you're
when
not cutting
when
me
Evan
off at
said
all.
it, Jack Gibbons, Dr. Gibby, he's one of those Vrabel guys, and you would maybe assume that they'd be attached to him. And again, like he could be back. I don't rule that out, but I still think that is a good example of what Evan's talking about, that they didn't, get too enamored with their guys. They filled in a lot of holes last year, but to me, it looks like in season, Josh is saying, really wish we had a blocking tight end. I really wish we had a real fullback right now. Like you see some of the holes that they got into the season where he's like, I really wish we had X, Y, and Z. Let's get those next year.
I can't argue with that. They absolutely fill very specific holes. They're just not necessarily the ones I was expecting them to fill.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
I
it's
think-
Josh's special,
I think in large part, when you look at, we can get into semantics, and I'm sure Fred's going to, but I think they're basically a very similar team. I think they had some holes that they had last year that they don't have now, and they still have some holes that they had last year that they really haven't filled. On paper, the offensive line is better. The wide receiver core is, in my view, roughly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like they needed to be better
Yeah.
going in. So, I think there's a lot of similarities, in terms of what they are right now. And we'll see if there's a bigger move that's still to be made.
And just to throw it out, we've talked consistently about AJ. I keep calling him Antonio Brown. AJ Brown's
You don't wanna do
contract,
that.
that it's
Yeah.
prohibitive, and that it's very possible, as we were kind of like throwing out, that they might we're going to make a move for him in
if
early
they
June.
acquired a receiver who's demonstratively better than Romeo Doubs, I think that makes your wide receiver room look entirely different.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't rule that out.
Yeah,
I think
I-
that's very much on the table still.
Yeah, I just think at some of these positions that we're talking about, the edge, linebacker, where they didn't bring back some of their guys. I think a big part of that to me is like they're planning on drafting guys at those spots.
Yeah.
And
edge,
so-
edge for sure.
So
right?
if you
To your point of they treated it like they were at 8 and 9
Right.
on the rise.
right,
Mhm.
so like if they brought back Chason and they brought back Anthony Jennings and they brought back Tavai and they brought back Dr. Gibby and they bring back all these guys, like the rookies are all blocked now by
Mhm.
players that have been in
Yeah.
the system, that are veteran players in the league. So I think a lot of these positions, I'd throw tight end in there, safety, with Byard just being on the 1-year deal.
Right.
Like they're kind of opening opportunity so that when the draft class comes in, that whoever they draft at edge is probably going to be with one of their first 2 picks. Like that guy's going to have a runway now to really take a role and earn it, and same thing at linebacker. Like if you bring back Tavai and Gibbons and all these linebackers, like if you draft a linebacker pretty early, now you're getting crowded in that room. And I think that a lot of these different spots, they're trying to pave the way. Safety will sign Byard to a 1-year deal. They'll probably draft somebody in the 3rd or 4th round again, like they did with Craig Woodson. Maybe that guy plays as a 3rd safety as a rookie to get him on the field. And then, in 2027, he's your starting safety with Craig Woodson. That's the hope.
Yeah.
Obviously. So I think that's true at a lot of these different spots is they're kind of trying to keep spots open for these rookies to earn roles so that they're not all just kind of sitting and waiting.
So I would say at this point in March, Patriots are better than they were last year.
I would not say that, but we're getting there.
I would not say
I think they've had a really solid free agency. I mean, I think that the trajectory for me is always
because I'm also factoring in Drake's improvement. Yeah.
I mean, they still have needs. There's no question.
What if he regresses?
Then they won't be, but I don't think he will.
Okay. Why don't
if the quarterback's worse, will they be worse?
What?
I'm going to do it like everybody else does. I'm going to assess like all the players that they already had as being constants. Like if they all get better from last year, of course they're
I
gonna
didn't
be
say
better.
all. I said Drake will.
No, okay.
Better than the MVP runner-up.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess he could win
This is
MVP.
what I'm saying.
Oh, you don't think there's room for improvement
Yeah,
with Drake?
of course there is.
Of course.
Of course
Okay.
there is.
And you
I'm
don't
only
think he
messing
will
with you.
improve?
I don't.
Wow.
I think he had.
Wow.
I think he had a tremendous season, and I don't think he's going to be much better next year. Than
Wow.
that. I think
Okay.
he might get a similar season.
Okay, hold that take, everyone.
I mean, I think he can be the runner-up and the MVP again, and that's the same.
I don't think it has my saying that they're a little bit worse right now has nothing to do with Drake. I just think wide receiver. I'm not ready to say that Romeo Doubs is as good as Stephon Diggs. He's just never done it yet. I'm not saying
it's a projection. Absolutely.
but
couldn't agree with you
But
more.
Diggs just had a 1,000-yard season coming off a torn ACL. Doubs has never been over 750 yards in his career. So before we start to put him in 4-time Pro Bowl or Stephon Diggs's, level, let's let him prove it first. And the edge rusher position is still a big concern in my opinion. They don't have enough there. I like Draymond Jones. I think he's a fine player. But you don't know what you're getting out of Harold Landry at this stage. Elijah Ponder and Braden Swinson. Ponder had some moments, had some flashes.
Well,
We'll
you really
see.
didn't get a lot out of Landry last year either.
Well, he played the whole season until the end.
But you know what I'm saying.
Barely.
I guess. But I don't even know if Landry's going to be available. Like he was out there last year. Like his decline obviously, was right with the knee injury. But like he played snaps for you last year. In the first 6 weeks of the season, he was really good. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that they have a long way to go at that spot.
I'm just going off
Me
of
too.
like the offseason, like guys they brought in as opposed to the guys that are going out. I think is about a wash. I think it's very similar. Like Chason and Jones to me is like the poster of that. Like I think you had a guy who had a very specific skill set, and you signed a guy with a very specific skill set to kind of replace
What
him.
about the outlook for the offensive line?
I
bit
think
better.
I think that they should be better if he plays. If he continues to play 43 of a possible 85 games, then they ain't going to be
If the
better.
sun comes up, we'll have another day tomorrow.
Okay, I think the offensive line is better.
Okay, thank you.
I just think that they have a lot of the
But
same
if he doesn't
things.
play, it ain't better.
Of course not.
We're having
he generally doesn't play. So I'm going off of history.
In our program, he'll play.
It's just a lot of the same things that we're still talking about. They're still talking about them needing high-end talent at wide receiver. We're still talking about them needing a high-end pass rusher. Like these things could be addressed, but until they are, I think that it's if they're better, it's marginal. I mean, I look at those two spots as those are the impact players.
Well,
right?
I mean, what should be the expectation? Should you expect at the end of free agency every year that you feel like the team has absolutely improved significantly from
I
a
think
team
that's
that
I think that's the hope.
Yeah, I don't know if it
That's
always
the hope.
happens
I mean, is
that
this,
way.
a
No, it
sign
doesn't
that-
always. It definitely doesn't always
Yeah.
happen that way.
'Cause
But
it's
you
like,
would hope it does.
I mean, I agree completely about the edge. You guys know I've been hitting that since like last year when I said that this was going to be a need. But I think generally this is how you have to operate when you're a team in free agency and you fill your holes. And there's some solid guys and there's some swings on some injury guys. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the draft and drafting well and getting another round of 3-4 players that hopefully come in. And those are the guys that you're going to build around. So other than the edge position right now, I feel really good about what they've done. I don't know what more you could ask other than force Alec Pierce to go hit free agency so you can try to get him, and maybe they're still going for Brown too. Yeah. So, but where we sit right now, 4 days into free agency and 1 day into the new league year, I feel pretty good about where they're at.
They've gotten better in spots. I think Byard's better than Hawkins,
Yeah.
and I think Vera Tucker's better than Bradbury. I think those are spots that they've improved on.
But you do have to count on these guys to improve. Like, you do have to say,
Sure.
you guys have to get better next year. I mean, you can't. It's not going to be good enough next year with how the rookies played. You know, especially a guy like Craig Woodson. I love having Byard in and that experience. Now he gets, you know, a superstar veteran safety that knows everything about this system. He's
going to
gonna
make him
come in,
even better.
You know, he needs to be better. They got to fill some depth in some spots for sure. But Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Drake May, Travion Henderson,
very
Kyle
optimistic.
Williams.
I'm optimistic.
You know,
I'm optimistic. I just I expect those guys to be good. Like, they played well last year. I don't expect there to be like a major drop off where now it's like, oh man, you know, Craig Woodson's not an NFL player. Like, no, Craig Woodson is a good player.
Mhm.
You know, we saw it with our own eyes. You know, Drake May is going to be a very good quarterback for a very long time.
yeah. What do we see?
Like that, whether there's rooms for him to improve,
Yeah, well,
to Fred's
that's-
point or
that's
not,
it, man.
like he's going to be elite for a very long time. They need to supplement all that with
Yeah.
a little bit more stuff.
All right, so we'll talk about it with you. Are the Patriots on paper going to be better than they were last year? I don't know record-wise if that means, but I mean as a better team.
And I would just say this is why I brought up the whole semantic thing,
Yeah.
because I think if I would expect the team to be better because of all the guys that were here that generally you expect to make a year two jump.
Yeah.
I'm asking about free agency. Like, that's not the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I just, you know, like, did they acquire more than they lost?
Yeah,
And I'd say it's about a wash.
Did they make their team better through free agency? That's
Right.
a good question.
Those are 2
We'll
different
talk
things.
about
Like,
it. Yep.
do I expect Craig Woodson and Travion Henderson and most, certainly Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, who I don't think played all that great, do I expect them to be better in year 2? Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Like, to improve from your rookie year to year
Sky's
2.
the limit.
That should make you better.
It's just a question of, were we seeing ceilings or floors? You know, and where in between
Yeah.
are we? And
Yeah.
you know, how high is Craig Woodson's ceiling? How high is Will Campbell's ceiling really at left tackle or wherever he may end up? And
Yeah.
what's Jared Wilson look like at center? Is that, you know, the easy slide in for Garrett Bradbury and, you know, there's no drop off, or is there a learning curve with him at center next
Yep.
year too, a little bit?
Andrew in Westchester, New York says, just saw the trailer for the new episode of Forge of Foxborough. I have to say it has me pumped up for the new season. The production quality of this series continues to be outstanding. Kudos to the content team for putting up such great work. P.S. What are the chances that we will get an inside look at the new facility at some point in the offseason? Be cool to get a look at that. I can guarantee you that at some point we'll have some sort of tour and look inside the facility. I can tell you one thing. I was in yesterday, just happened to be in there, and if I'm a player, I'm excited.
Yeah.
There's some cool, I mean, the locker room itself is huge.
Mhm.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So big that you don't even have to add anything for preseason for the extra players.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's good because
Yeah.
they had to put those things in lockers in the middle that like back to high school where you have
Right.
like these modular lockers in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
middle of the locker room and
No, we'll have sneak peeks. You know, I don't know if they're sneak peeks, but we'll have looks in at the new facility, and it's really good.
we have a lot of moving trucks around taking football down there. it seems
Yeah,
like.
they're moving out. Players are back in the building April 20th, and that's the building they'll be in. They're not coming back to the stadium. They're coming back to the new building. So very excited about that, and excited about Forge and Foxborough. It'll be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get to the phones. 855-PATS-500. Lot to digest here. All the Patriots free agent signings. It's not over yet. We'll see what else they have in store, but most of these guys are in the building right now and getting a look at stadium and meeting
Yeah,
people.
I believe 7 of those 8 will be available. KJ Britt, I think, is the only one
Yep.
Yeah.
out of that group.
Yeah, 7 of them are just officially we
Signed,
announced that they
yeah.
signed their
Okay.
contracts. Dobbs, Jones, Vera Tucker, Byard, Gilliam, Hill, Brown.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, let's start with Herm in D.C. What's up, Herm?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Right?
Hey, Herm.
2 quick questions, offseason question and a draft question. So, is there a world where the Patriots basically nix their plans about A.J. Brown and pretty much go to Keisha and Booty like, yo, listen, we're just going to double your targets and it's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver right there, right? Again, going back to Coach Rabel's point, getting younger, cheaper, faster. Yes, obviously A.J. Brown's better than Keisha and Booty, but if you just, in theory, double his target, that's your 1,000-yard receiver right there, right? And then the second question was about tight end to the draft. I'm a big Sim Rouse guy, but I was wondering what your thoughts are on this guy from Notre Dame, Eli Raridan. I think 6'7", 250.
Yeah.
I think he has the lowest drop rate in the country, or among tight ends, one of the two. So those are the two questions I take up the line. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Herm.
So he tore his ACL twice.
Always
little bit of
got
background on
always got one Notre Dame tight end
Yeah.
to talk about. Though. It's like they're like a factory there.
Yeah.
Roush is a really intriguing prospect. He's really raw, especially as a route runner. Just doesn't, at the top of the route, drifts a little bit, drifts into contact, things that he's going to have to really improve on. But he's huge and he can run. I mean, he's a great athlete. He's like 265 pounds and he tested through the roof at the combine at that size. So I actually think that, he could probably lose a couple pounds and get into a little bit better playing weight to be a little bit more dynamic than he even already is. So you see this movement, like just him running across the field and things like that. He can really build up speed, but he's pretty raw. The Notre Dame tight end, I don't think he had a ton of receiving production, if I'm not mistaken. Another one of these classic Notre Dame tight ends, though, where they just print them out, where they look at the exact part. Michael Mayer, Cole Kmet, like it's like, oh, another big Notre Dame tight end. Shocking. But I think, like Deuce was saying, he's had some bumps in the road there.
Spee writes in Fresno. He says, Fred, you're bonkers. I just can't believe you're so definitive that Drake will be better next season. As far as the options, whether he'll be better, worse, or the same, I think worse is most likely, followed by same, then best. With a harder schedule and coming off a decline and loss of confidence injury at the end of the season, it's Tebow time. I'm exaggerating, but regression to the mean is a thing. While I'm overall optimistic about Drake, I'm probably more pessimistic than most as to whether his game will be reliably winning in the big moments, given its reliance on extremely fun but high difficulty, low probability shots downfield.
I mean, I don't necessarily think the highest probability is that he's going to regress. I just think he played at an exceptionally high level, so I'm not going to pencil in that he's going to be better than that. That's like, I think it's probably another semantic thing that I'm guilty of this time is I think he'll play well next year. I expect him to play well. I think he's a franchise quarterback. I think he's one of the, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, top 5, maybe top 7 if you want to, give some other guys some leeway. But I just think he played at such a high level last year. It's going to be hard to exceed that.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting him to.
I feel like this is a very semantical argument.
That's what
like,
it's going to get worse.
I'm guilty of
like
it.
Drake
I'm
May is elite. He is going to be elite. What level of elite? Is he the best quarterback in the league, or is he the 7th best quarterback in the league? Like, I guess we'll find out next year once he starts playing, but he's going to be elite. Like, I don't think
So
I don't expect him to have a bad year.
So,
Let's put it that way.
where I think obviously he needs to improve is how does he handle the better defenses?
Yeah. That's where we're going to get the semantics argument of, yeah, he's statistically having a worse year, but he's playing better defenses. They're playing, he might even be playing better,
Right.
but his stats are worse and their team's record is worse.
I'm not
Those are
going by
the
his
strings
stats.
you're
You
going to
know
have
me.
to pull out, you know?
So
I'm not talking
we're gonna
about his
judge it
numbers.
by how he's playing.
Yeah.
And, based on the situation.
He's got to go
You
into
just
Seattle
don't have
next
that
year.
kind of ability and all of a sudden fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really happen very often that he puts together a season like he did last year. And now we're just supposed to think that he could possibly regress back to like North Carolina Drake, where he's just like,
Yeah.
very inconsistent and only flashing and things like. I don't know. I just have a tough time imagining that the ground is going to fall out from underneath him.
No,
now.
and I mean,
think
I don't envision that.
And I mean, I would say the coaching staff is hoping that he takes a leap in the second year in the offense. That now the complex system that's so much on him that now he has a lot of experience in those games. He has experience in the playoffs, but it's going to be great to see him go into Seattle and see how he deals with all that again. I mean, it's, that's going to be a really big challenge for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think he graduated.
Don't call it a rematch, though.
I think he graduated last year. He's got his bachelor's degree in the Josh McDaniels offense, and now can he go and get a graduate degree in it? Is what they're hoping. Is that he's we kind of got the baseline foundation laid last year. think a lot of these things that we're talking about, it's all the same stuff. Like last year was only supposed to be the first year. They just happened to win 14 games and go to the Super Bowl. And now I think that they're starting from a much higher point where they're hoping that he's already kind of got the basics of what we're trying to do down. Now we can kind of push him to get to that next level.
Yeah.
Anthony says, why are we convinced Doubs is as good as he'll be? He was in a position in Green Bay that I feel he may not have been given as much volume as we can provide here. I think he's an ascending player, not yet at his ceiling. That's not to say I think he'll be a top wide receiver, but why are we so convinced he can't improve?
We're not. I just said
It's exactly the opposite if you listen to the first 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I mean it seems like this offense can be tailored to him. They're going to move him around. I mean, they're going to find ways to get him the ball aside from his skill set. That will.
the only thing I would say is I think he's going to an offense that's very similar. It's not run the same way, but the mentality is very similar to what he was in. Josh doesn't believe in just one guy. He doesn't like. Not that he doesn't believe in. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like to do it that way. And Doubs has been in an offense that they sort of spread it around.
Do you think that that's from?
And I think that's what he's going to be in here.
Do you think that's from his time? Josh doesn't like just having one guy. His time with Belichick, where Belichick would go into a game, and if a team had that one guy, whether it's on offense or defense,
Could be.
he always came up with good plans to take that guy out.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you always want talent, and he doesn't want a great right. Yeah, I think he does.
No.
It's just
think
he's
you want
able to make it
balance.
go.
But
You
again,
want
in terms of-
balance.
he
It's
wants
like-
it- yeah.
Yeah.
When they had Welker and Moss, those guys clearly had it, but they didn't have anybody else.
No.
Until Gronk
Gronk.
came, and then they sort of, adapted. But I do think that there's probably some truth to that, Fred, is that Bill always felt like if you only have one thing, but no one's suggesting that they only have one thing. They like Diggs last year wasn't the only thing. He just was the main target.
Yeah.
I just in year 5, like, are you going to see like a totally different player? I'm not going to expect that. I'm going to maybe expect him to get more opportunities here. But the other part of his numbers in Green Bay, he always misses games. He's a guy that misses a game or two here or there. I think he's missed 9 games in 4 years. So if he continues to miss games, his numbers will continue to be okay.
Yep.
If he plays all 17 and he clicks in the offense, I expect his numbers to rise because I think he has the skill set that Evan and Mike talked about right off the top. And I'm sorry that the emailer missed this, but you guys went to great lengths to say how the versatility of his route running, his strong hands, his good size, he's on paper projects to be a really good fit in this offense.
Yeah,
really solid.
I think you just always want to have balance. Like we talk about balance a lot with run pass balance, but like it's also just where are you attacking on the field? And if you're attacking the same area over and over again at the field, defenses are too smart. They're too good. They're going to figure out. He really wants to throw the ball in the middle of the field. So we're going to flood the middle of the field. We're going to force the ball to go elsewhere. So the best offenses have balance. They have the ability to throw it anywhere on you at any time. And I think that that's what Josh McDaniels tries to strive for. It's not necessarily about volume per one guy. It's that we don't want to be a one-trick pony. We don't want to be a team that can only throw over the middle.
Got to keep the D on its heels.
Yeah.
Yep. We need to dictate, not them. Rick in Riverside, Rhode Island, his email kind of sparked a question for me that I'll get to, but it says, do the new additions have the traits off the field Vrabel looks for when building team culture? The 25 team was a family. Do any of the new players have anything about them that could disrupt the locker room? And so the question I would add to that is, who are the existing players in the team that are going to carry that culture forward this year?
Morgan Moses.
Moses, Spillane.
Byard will probably be part
Big
of
Milt,
that as a new
Byard.
player.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also up to Drake, I think, to step up and to be, more demanding on offense to, hold those guys to a standard. But I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, Doubs is the only one I really kind of got into just some of his interviews just to see kind of what his personality is like. And he seems more quiet, like I said earlier. So I don't, nothing red flag to me. It also seems like everybody loves Reggie Gilliam. Like the Buffalo guys are just like everybody talking about him completely enamored.
Yeah, I don't know anything bad off field about any of these 8 guys that they signed. I would just say that I would caution against the the family-like atmosphere they had last year, that's 2025.
Yeah.
Don't automatically assume that carries over into 26, because every team has
They
to
also-
create an identity and come
Right.
together and all
they
that
were
stuff.
also winning like crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It
it's,
just
it's
starts
these-
building on
right.
itself.
But I think that, not to dismiss the email or the question, but as long as Mike Vrabel is here, I have no worries about the culture of this team. Now, maybe it's not going to feel or look exactly the same as the 25 team, but the guy setting the culture is the head coach. And I like whether it's, Diggs, was a big part of it. He was a big part of it for sure. But
I don't necessarily worry about Diggs leaving and then that falling apart. I just think your first point is the one that
about the winning,
absolutely.
yeah. But
Because Vrabel had
solves
problems with
everything.
culture when it wasn't going so well, and Vrabel's the same guy. Like when it went bad in Tennessee, the culture went bad with it, because it's hard to have great culture when you're not winning.
Well, I think Vrabel's also a better coach now than he was then.
they
Like,
were
he's
also
learned.
making some
We'll see.
He's
weird
learned.
We'll see.
decisions upstairs when things were going.
I mean,
bad.
I just
That's why I
don't-
said I think. Yes, we will see.
I
But
don't-
that's what I think. We're here to give opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was a great coach in Tennessee. I did.
You don't think coaches get better? They learn?
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
But don't you think some of the things that happened with
I asked him, and he said no. But I mean, that's might be him being modest.
don't you think some of the things that happened to him in Tennessee though were personnel
Beyond his
decisions?
control.
Yeah, they were trading AJ Brown.
Yeah,
It
that's my
was-
favorite.
It was.
Head coach didn't know about it.
I didn't say he didn't know about it.
That's what he says.
I just said that maybe he wasn't in favor of it. Who knows?
Yeah,
Certainly didn't look like it.
maybe.
Okay, but or like him wanting to promote Ryan Cowden to the general manager position, and the owner deciding to hire somebody from the outside that he had no relationship with. Like
That one I would say was tough. on
like
Vrabel.
there's just a lot of things that I think contributed to it
Right.
that were.
And
I
might
wouldn't
some of
necessarily
those
say
things
out of his
happen here.
control,
I
but-
don't like. That's all I'm saying is I think your first point is the only one that really matters.
Of course.
If
Sounds
you
like Byard
if you
chose
win,
here because of Vrabel too. Is that's some guys.
We're now a
still buying in.
destination. We've become a
Well,
destination.
at least for
again.
former Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, just one more thing I just want to highlight because I came across this. Ty Dunn wrote a whole story about Julian Hill. Really interesting background just from him that he lived in severe poverty and homelessness in North Carolina.
who?
Julian Hill.
Justin
Julian
Hill.
Hill.
Julian Hill.
who
Julian.
wrote this?
Ty Dunn wrote it for the Go Long.
Tyler Dune.
Sorry. He's a
I'll
football
call
writer. He's a football writer, but really
Kinda
interesting.
Like you were before you were here.
Really, no, really interesting story though.
You like
Good,
that?
Frank.
You like that?
You got me back.
So he's got a
You guys
passion
have
for
been
foster care and those kind of things. So just
little
off the
grumpy
field,
today.
interesting story there.
Not grumpy.
It's all right.
He's a little grumpy.
All right.
Not
I don't
grumpy.
know. Vrabel, coach of the year.
Uh,
It might fall
we'll
apart.
go to
though.
break.
Culture might fall apart.
We'll go to break with this email.
I did
Let
not
it-
say that.
Perillo.
Don't get me clipped and
It's all good now.
Because I didn't say that. I said Evan's first point to me is the one that's most important.
No, and
Absolutely.
you've heard
When it
things,
comes to
and-
culture.
but
the one
it's
I agree with.
It's great. It's great when everybody's great when you're winning.
Everything's great when you're
right.
winning.
And it's hard to keep it together. This is another point I wanted to bring up, guys. Is I get back to the Tom and Bill thing, and everybody gives Brady the credit. I think it's gonna be really interesting what happens now with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen as two quarterbacks that look not on the level of Tom Brady, but let's see how it looks with new head coaches. We can say Tom Brady was great and it didn't matter, but are these guys going to be affected by a regime change now? This is multiple MVP winners.
Yeah.
How does it go with these guys?
That's
I'm
right.
curious.
The path to the Super Bowl. We'll just do this email, then we'll go to break. We'll let this one marinate. I said there was a comment early. This is Jack. Where is he from? Doesn't say.
Ann Arbor?
There was a comment made earlier in the show that you all don't know if we are a better team than we were last March. Well, that wasn't exactly what we said, but
No.
anyway,
Close enough.
that's insane. Drake is finally getting continuity at play caller for the first time in his career. The offensive line and specifically the run game should be much improved with the rearranging and addition of an all-pro caliber fullback. I don't know about that. The A.J. Brown trade will come post June 1st, and Doubs is as efficient and younger than Diggs. The secondary is now top 5 with the addition of Byard. Edge still needs work, but I trust in the development ability of these coaches. Absolutely no one was thrilled at the Chase on signing last year, and now look how fans view him. Not saying we're going back to the Super Bowl, but geez, to say the team isn't improved from this time last year is insane.
Well, if everything works out exactly like the emailer laid out, and we trade for AJ Brown, then yes, I agree
Yeah,
that
I mean,
we're going to be
I wasn't
better.
saying that, so I'm going to take.
You didn't say
No,
that.
I didn't say.
But the largest piece of that analysis was something that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
That's the number one by far, blows anything else away that they've done so far.
See, I think it's easy to say we're better than last March because now we know Drake had that season.
Oh, well, last
that's what I
March,
mean. Right,
I
you're
thought
right.
you were talking
No
about
one's comparing it to last
Well,
March.
he
We're-
is.
We're comparing it to February.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why I think you can question what I said even more than if I said, "Oh, we're better than we were last March." We're obviously better.
If
than
that
we were
email
last
was
March.
comparing this March to last March, then that's a different.
Right, that's what he.
it's
Yeah,
not
so
really
that's
even
that's
worth
why.
talking
All right,
about. I thought he meant
not as good. Not
I
as
thought
good
he
an
meant
email
last
as I
year.
thought it was.
If,
All right.
if they trade for AJ Brown, we all agree they're a better team.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break.
on defense.
We'll be right back after this.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
All right, we're excited now to be joined by Mike Reiss, of course, man who needs no introduction. Mike, great to see you.
Deuce, Evan.
I love the energy.
Let's talk
I got to start, Mike, because I feel like we talked to you at the Super Bowl it feels like it was yesterday.
I love that talk.
And you had a line in that preview that stuck with me. It hit me like a freight train when you said it. And you just looked at the defensive line of Seattle and you said, these are a bunch of veteran players. And that was so simplified it to me. And that is kind of exactly how the game unfolded.
Oh, man. And credit to Nick Caserio is because when I was previewing the game with him for a story on ESPN.com, I said, break down the Seahawks. And we know from 24 years of Bill Belichick would come to the podium and he'd give us the other team without any notes, right? And Nick did that, and he started with the Seahawks defensive front. And so I have to give him the credit because honestly, it's not me studying it like 17 regular season games, 3 playoff games, and coming up with this brilliant plan of what's going to unfold. It was more talking to the experts that I trust.
But you were a conduit, and I think it simplified it. And unfortunately,
it's exactly how it played out.
It's like, and I think back to the Patriots defenses, in 03 and 04 when they were a veteran group, when it was like you're going in this game with Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, William. You just knew that those guys were going to come to play in the biggest games.
And I want to share a story from the year with Morgan Moses, which is what we're talking about. Yeah. Morgan Moses is 34, 35 years old, a veteran in the league. And he was talking to me about how much he likes Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. And in sharing this story with me, he said, like, they're kids. Like, and he then described himself and said, it wasn't until I was 24, 25 that just physically I could catch up to what I was facing in the NFL. And we talked about Trent Williams still doing it at 37, 38, 39 years old. Morgan wants to come back, by the way. Like, that's part of the whole conversation we were having. But I remembered him telling me that, thinking about the Super Bowl, and like, wow, they are going to be relying on these kids that need another offseason to get stronger and build up their what they have, to go up against these guys that have been in the league for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, I saw you reported yesterday that no surgery expected for Will Campbell, and that's good news. But I thought that was something that stood out from Elliot Wolf yesterday, was him saying, I didn't see the same lower body strength in the playoffs from him and from the regular season. What's just your sense, though, just in terms of their approach this offseason? And I think a lot of us are asking the same questions of, are you now in more of an expedited situation because you did make the Super Bowl, or do you think they're still in that long-term approach?
Definitely. So you highlighted to me, Evan, the most interesting thing I heard yesterday, which was that view of Will Campbell.
Yeah.
Like, we thought he played well before the injury, then we didn't see the same ability to anchor.
Right.
Which I think people listening might ask the question, well, then why did you play him?
Yeah.
And then I think the answer to that, and I'm going to deduce this, they haven't said this, they still felt like Will at that level was better than the next option, which was Vidarian Lowe.
Yeah.
And I think I would have played this. I would have done it if you're asking me the same way. But that's a fair question, right? In terms of the approach, I believe it comes down to the money. I always believe it comes down to the money. I think Christian Gonzalez being eligible for an extension is everything. That's where it should start. I think Drake being eligible next year at this time has got to be in your long-range view. So I don't expect them to come out and spend like a big deal unless it's just a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
For example, the Raiders say, you know what, this Maxx Crosby, you can have him for minimal compensation, and then you can assume that contract. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, no, you did. But I just, in terms of just how you feel about it too, like, do you think that they should take that approach? Because I think that a lot of fans hear that and are going to be a little bit disappointed that they're not going to just now go for it, right? You're one win away from the Super Bowl last year, but I actually kind of see it and say, I actually think that that's probably the smart thing to do, because you really kind of have to treat it like you almost had like a nice season, like, like a 9-win, 10-win season. But the way that it broke for them, it probably was the reason why they got as far as they did.
Yes.
And I think you have to be kind of realistic about that at the same time. Would you agree with that?
100%. It's being honest with, are you a Super Bowl team?
Right.
Like they were this year, based on AFC being down a little bit. Give them credit too. They learn how to win games. Like, I don't think that should be dismissed. I don't love when people say, oh, fool's gold, for lack of a better term. Like, that's BS to me. Like, that's not fool's gold. It's hard to win. It's hard to go 9-0 on the road. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's going to be a lot harder in 2026.
That's what I was going to say, Mike. It's just, it seems there's a lot of hard decisions this year, because it would be somewhat easy to run it back. I mean, Chase On's a free agent, Austin Hooper, Jalen Hawkins, a few starters, and guys that you could make an argument to bring all those guys back, that they fit well, that they played, better as the season went on. But all the offensive linemen are coming back, so there's no easy there's a hole here, and you're gonna have to probably move some pieces around, and you're not going to bring back the same team next year. It's going to be a different team. I think everybody has to realize that.
It'll be a different team. I feel like, to build off what we're talking about, another solid draft is mandatory. Mm-hmm. And I guess, to me, that's going for it. Yeah. It's like having another solid draft. And I know that's not sexy, but as we're sitting here, I want to use an example from 21, 22 years ago. Like, go find the first round pick that you made in 2005 at pick 32. Go find that player this year. Logan Mankins is who I'm talking about. I think everyone watching knows that. You're at 31. That's going for it to me. Like, I know that's not traditional going for it.
Yeah.
But I want a nasty, athletic, mean, big player up front.
Yeah.
Helps Will Campbell. You add a little bit of size maybe next to him. I think it's something that we've talked about too.
Yeah.
Easy way, maybe that's a simple fix. And
Where does Jared Wilson end up?
Who is it, Evan? I know I don't mean to put you on the spot.
So Pregnon from Oregon really does fit that bill. He's a left guard at Oregon, pure guard prospect, not one of these tackles that's going to convert inside. He's a wider body. He's a heavy-handed guy, not quite as big as Big Mike, not that sort of size, but similar kind of player. The other guy that stands out to me in that particular mold, who is going to convert from tackle to guard, is Jennings Dunker from Iowa, who is like, to me, a Mike Vrabel.
He looks like Mike. He's got a mullet and everything, right?
31 for him or 2?
That's probably a little high.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys that, there's a really good track record of moving college tackles to guard. Yep. Logan Mankins was one of them. Joe Tooney was one of those guys.
Yep.
And those guys have a lot of success in the league. And Dunker, just the way he looks, the play demeanor, the style, the run blocking ability, all those things to me do really scream Mike Vrabel, that kind of guy.
And I just want to use the Seahawks as an example. Like, they're the Super Bowl champion, and we're talking about this idea of going for it. Like last year, they were Gray Zabel in the first round.
Right.
I mean, is that not going for it? I mean,
do
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I just sort of, for me, I like to reframe.
Another guy that played tackle in college, by the way.
Yeah.
Gray Zabel, and moved inside.
And now, great moments in history.
Only been on a team like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Who changes teams
No,
every
but
year.
I'm just talking
he
about
might not have
at his age.
that knowledge of a system.
Right,
That's true.
Forget it.
I was giving Eric the props. That's right. I don't understand what his age has to do with anything.
I think his age has to do with a lot if you're talking trade. I think another team is taking into consideration the guy's age.
Right.
Don't
but why?
Because he's old.
Because he doesn't know my system? That's what you said.
No,
this is the only thing that I disagree with.
I said
is that he's more valuable to the Patriots because he knows the system.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with age.
But at his age, he has less to contribute to another team than the Patriots.
I agree.
And
that's why I don't think Hightower has. Because he's old.
About 2 minutes later.
Who's he more valuable to, another team or the Patriots?
The Patriots.
Why?
Because he is on the Patriots.
Forget it. You can't even answer. You know, forget it. It's over. It's over.
Okay, so
ding, ding, ding. It's over. Let's move on.
About 5 minutes later.
This is ridiculous. See, this is what happens. You can't have an argument because you can't.
Thanks, Paul.
You're not allowed to disagree with Fred.
Thank you.
You're not allowed. Don't disagree with Fred.
Thanks for giving me credit for that.
Don't disagree,
I
Fred. I'm
that.
sorry.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
sorry.
I appreciate
Did I hurt
that.
your feelings by disagreeing with you? I'm sorry.
I don't think I sound like the
sorry.
one who's upset here.
Oh no! Oh no! You very much sound like the one who's upset here. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Well, we just have to end it at some point. I mean, it's like I have to put down a vampire.
Exactly.
You know? It's like it just keeps coming back.
Exactly.
You gotta get that stake in his heart.
You've decided that it's silly.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address. Evan has left to go look at wide receivers.
He's lurking over. I just saw a picture. He's up there lurking over Romeo Doubs.
He goes
right
from
now.
one to one. Hi, I'm Evan.
Right.
I'm Evan. That's the guy that you heard about. I'm that guy.
He does do that.
The guy behind the guy.
Oh yeah.
I will be breaking down your film, just so you know.
Yeah.
We were talking about yesterday. So they have a little bit of a different setup for this sort of meet and greet with the media, with some of these wide receivers, rather than a formal press conference in a podium, and they just have them set up at tables, I think, Mike?
Yep, tables, round
And,
tables.
So the media is sort of free to walk around and talk to whichever one of the players that they want. So Evan, and we're all talking about it in the think tank yesterday, Fred. And, Evan's saying, well, I actually kind of like it from a media perspective, which I agree with Evan, because it's more personal. Yeah. And you can get, like I said, you can talk to whoever you want, and you should be able to get a question into whoever you want on your timetable. And Evan's like, so you can, you make a personal connection with the guy, so, like they come back and, for OTAs and whatnot, and Matt Smith interrupts and goes, and they have no idea who you are. And Mike and I are like, yes.
Yeah.
No, they know.
But that was exactly what you're talking about. Like, I'm Evan.
I'm the guy.
They'll remember me.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the phones. We'll start with Danny in Tampa. What's up, Danny?
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Good.
I just want to compliment. I wanted to agree on all your guys' takes. I was going to take a Paul approach and critique some of the things. I did like the fullback signing. I also like they finally got an inline blocking tight end. I still think they need to keep harping it. They need to draft another or draft a tight end. So in this coming year's draft, so I'll wait for that. I give them overall C- grade right now.
C-.
Solid.
Okay.
C-, just because the off season isn't done yet. And I still think they filled a lot of key holes, like you guys mentioned, and I think they did better than. They made some good moves. They still need some depth. I would like them to see them draft some people in the safety. One take I want to give you guys before I get off. So Mina Kimes came on yesterday, and Evan's girl on ESPN. They were talking about. Did you guys? I may have missed it when you guys may have said it on the show. I came on late. The Raiders and the Ravens had nigged on their trade, mainly on the Ravens' part.
Yeah, the Ravens reneged. Yep.
Yeah, the Ravens reneged on it, and the whole sports world was kind of blowing up to that. She had mentioned should the Patriots be back in on the trade, and I wanted to pitch you guys this trade. If I'm the Patriots and I'm Mike Vrabel, because we know Elliott ain't really doing anything, but if I'm Mike Vrabel, I'm calling up the Raiders, and I'd lowball them because Shefty, I trust Shefty. He reported that the Ravens, their team doctors, and then they had one of the highly most regarded team surgeons in pro football from the Dallas Cowboys had gave his best opinion on it, and that's what failed, from my understanding, the trade, because he gave his opinion on it and said that his knee was still an issue. So what I would do, if I'm the Patriots, I'd lowball that first. I would not give him a first pick. I'd give him a second round and maybe Carlton Davis to sweeten the deal, and then see if that works. I think it might, but I don't know.
It
what
won't.
do you guys think?
You're not getting a guy who they just traded for 2 first-round picks for a second-round pick and a 30-something-year-old cornerback.
I think they have to, because, look.
Why do they have to?
Picks,
they can keep him.
Why not just keep him?
Well, because I see that. Well, for one, they want the first round picks because.
But they're not getting it.
Yeah.
If you give them the first round pick, then we're talking. But you don't want to give them a first round pick.
See, and another option they could do is they could give them a second that could turn into a first, but I don't know how they could work.
Yeah, well, but they want a first.
2027. Yeah,
even if you give them a first and say, well, our first is 31st, do you want A.J. Brown? Because now you lost that asset. Now you have less chance of getting A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your premise. I would kick the tires on Maxx Crosby and see if you can get him, because he's not going to get 2 first-round picks now.
No.
No one's going to do that. So the price is probably dropped. Yeah. And I agree with your overall premise. I would look in. I would just keep it at that. I would
pick up the phone.
I would go to the Raiders. I would pick up the phone and I would see what it would take.
Yeah.
I would absolutely look into it.
Yep.
You're not getting him for a second round.
What do you
pick
think about
and a
that whole situation?
So I have very mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Okay. All the scorn and ridicule that Baltimore's getting, I think they deserve. First of all, I think they're kind of a slippery organization. They're kind of often in trouble. They're often envelope pushers. Yeah. Can I put it that way?
Okay.
But I agree with everybody that has all the things that they're saying about it. At the same time, if I were a Ravens fan, I'd applaud this.
Oh,
I would want my team to be willing to do something that's not popular, and I know it's not going to be perceived well, but it's going to make my team better. And they're better with Trey Hendrickson and not having forfeited 2 first-round picks than they would be with Maxx Crosby.
Do you think that
no 2 first-round picks?
Do you think that I will call it an uproar locally in the Baltimore area when they made this move affected them backing out of it? Because
Is that right? They got a lot of pushback.
Starting with Kinfora, who's one of the big Ravens fans.
Oh, forget him. He's completely out of his mind.
I didn't know they didn't like it.
They thought they gave up too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument that they gave up too much. Mike, you and I talked about this a little bit. You give me your take.
No, I loved your take of them pulling the fast one, but you heard from Eric DeCosta yesterday saying, kind of like, hey, well, yeah, we found something. What do you want me to do? I have to protect, the owner and stuff.
No, they actually wanted both.
They actually wanted both. I mean, I love, Paul's thing of just saying, no, Hendrickson's not going.
So are they going to get Hendrickson?
They got him.
Oh, they already did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was announced.
Yeah. So my feeling is, first of all, I don't think this had anything at all. This had nothing at all to do with Maxx Crosby's knee.
Yeah.
I think that it got into the combination of what Fred's talking about. They got some pushback among their own about how much they gave up. So they had some remorse, buyer's remorse. Then free agency comes, and the top pass rusher on the market, who everybody thought was going to blow everybody away, didn't. So now you're looking at it like, I can have this guy for roughly what I was going to have to pay Crosby. He's not Crosby as a player, but as a pass rusher, he's pretty close. So I can have this guy for no draft compensation, or that guy for 2 first-round picks.
Right.
What do we got to do to get out of this? You know what I immediately thought of, Fred? Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick would have done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely would have made that move. Wait a minute. We can do this for this.
Yeah.
We screwed this up.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people would look and come to that same conclusion, but say it's too late. It takes a different kind of cat to say, I know it's too late, but the ink ain't dry.
Yeah.
It's not official yet.
I'll take the heat.
Yeah. And we're going to get some blowback.
They probably did the right thing.
I think if I were a Ravens fan, I'd be thrilled that my team was willing to do this. We can be the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's going to blow. I mean, let's face it. It's going to blow over. I was on Twitter Tuesday night when this was happening, and I can't tell you how many people said 2 different things. Number one, on the Baltimore side, good luck, Ravens, trying to make any money. And like 5 minutes later, they signed Trey Hendrickson. So evidently, Trey Hendrickson's agent didn't have any problem dealing with the Ravens. So that's number one. That will go away. The second part is, the poor Raiders now, they're stuck. Give me a napkin.
With Maxx
I'll show you how they're not stuck. If they can sort of convince him to stay, they're fine. They're going to end up benefiting from this because they're going to keep the player, and they made some moves. Maybe they'll be better.
Are the Ravens on the Raiders' schedule this year? Because that'll be a good game.
Now that will be like the Raiders. Obviously, you're dead to me, and that's totally understandable.
No, but like Crosby, revenge.
But what do you think would get it done now? If a team still's like, we want Maxx Crosby, I mean, is it compensation still 2
it's got to be down to 1.
It's not going to be 2 first, but it's not. But it's not going to just be nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be 1 and something else.
Like, and this year too. I mean, do you think teams are still going to move on this guy, or is this going to put him back in the Raiders?
They're going to do their own evaluation.
Well, if you're the Raiders, don't you want next
year? He just had surgery. Of course, his knee isn't right now, but it's meniscus
That's
surgery.
why I said this has nothing to do with Maxx Crosby's knee.
Yeah.
They didn't find anything they didn't already know.
Yeah. And remember at the end of the season, his knee was so bad that he was pissed that they wouldn't play him in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
He still wanted to play.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been that bad.
Well, it's a meniscus.
Yeah, I know, right.
But once you get the surgery, then you're on the shelf for a while.
Bone on
but he wanted to just play through
It's not a major surgery. It's not like ACL or Achilles. It's a meniscus.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you get a meniscus, it's just rest.
Right. That's what I had. But concern will be if it gets to Edelman's point where it's completely worn away, there's no cartilage left, and it's bone on bone. He's going to need a knee replacement at some point. I just wonder how it all works out. Does he go back?
I tell you, knee replacement isn't the worst thing either. I had it and it works.
Still good.
Yep.
Feeling good.
Best thing I have going for me.
Yeah. You got both of them done, or just one? Just one.
Yeah. For now. No, I have to go under the knife April 17th.
Oh, day after my birthday.
I'm fixing my Achilles and taking out a bone spur.
Oh.
What's the matter with your Achilles?
It's torn up.
You have a torn Achilles?
It's not completely
torn up,
but I can't
fraying.
I can't accelerate.
Yeah. Oh well, that's.
Can you get on your toes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not completely torn.
No, it's
because
just
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 weeks later, I went to the doctor.
The way they're going to take a little bit from here and put it over here, and then take off the bone spur.
That's a big deal, Freddie.
Is it?
It's going to be a little bit of a rehab process,
How long?
no? Well, it was like 6 months.
6
like,
months
for me.
No,
you're not
you
getting.
You had a ripped Achilles.
I had a rupture.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good by the draft. I mean,
I think I'll be in a boot.
I mean, you could inspire the youth of America and people everywhere like Jason Tatum.
Well, I'm going to do a documentary.
Right, 5 parts.
Because I feel like my soul is leaving me with this injury.
It really is.
Oh man.
Oh, we're in a good
I really
mood
just
today.
grew up in the wrong era. Like today.
Yeah.
Like I could have really played that up. I could have put a documentary out there.
Yeah.
Patriots.com. The road back to reporter.
Yeah. Right. Let's get back to the phones. 855-PATS-500. We'll start with Zach in New Hampshire. What's up, Zach?
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Just wanted to know your thoughts on Anthony Hill Jr., the Texas linebacker. I thought he was a really good off-ball linebacker, but can also help in the pass rush.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed that.
Anthony Hill, Texas.
Oh,
off-ball linebacker.
Yeah. I like him. I mean, he's another one of those mobile guys. But yeah, probably in the range about early second, late first kind of thing. I think it's like Evan said. I think you're looking at these off-the-ball linebackers as good depth pieces this year. He's one of the more high-end ones. I'll just pull up who else.
So Zach, while he's looking, why him? Why did you bring up him in particular?
I just think he has, good things. I think putting him next to Spillane as a rookie could really help him and help the Patriots. I think he could develop into a guy that could wear the green dot someday and just be a good commander for the defense.
Yeah. Just look at my notes. I mean, still a young guy and developmental, but 6'3", 237. So some good size. I mean, that's something I'm thinking about. Jake Golday is another one from Cincinnati. Bigger inside linebackers, but can run. Still figuring out exactly what they like at that position. But I would definitely keep an eye on all those off-the-ball linebackers. Like to Paul's point, you got to have a plan with Spillane long-term. I mean, I don't know if last year was a one-off where, we kind of got banged up. I think he's generally been pretty durable. But, again, the guy who's about 30, one of those veterans. You want to have a backup for Moses.
Very physically taxing position.
For sure.
Like, that's why I would,
a lot of contact.
Yeah.
A lot of tackles. I mean, he had what?
You can get to your mid-30s, in some other spots, but
150 tackles a year.
Every
catches
year
up with you
for a while.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Zach, do you have a take on the Patriots free agency so far?
I mean, I really like what they're doing. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Romeo Doubs. I think putting him with Drake May is really going to benefit him. And then I also really like Vera Tucker. If he can stay healthy, I think that will help Will Campbell hugely. But, I mean, yeah, a lot of good players are signing.
All right. Thanks for the call, Zach. Let's go to Ohio, where Brad is on the line. What's up, Brad?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Okay.
All right. Good. Always good seeing you, Fred. Hope everything goes well with your surgery.
It will. I'm fine. They're not even going to put me to sleep.
Just remember, toes before nose.
You better.
Toes above nose, right?
What's that? I'm sorry. We were laughing.
Toes above nose.
Toes above nose.
Yeah.
Keep it elevated, in other words.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Yeah. They want me to keep weight off it for a while.
Remember RICE, the acronym RICE. Rest, ice, compression.
Yes.
Okay.
What about Patriots?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, I got off on the wrong time. I'm thinking about a guard. First of all, I got just a couple questions. Please, guys, help me with this. His name's Kalen Rutledge. I think he reminds me of Logan Mankin. And I think he would fall in an area that we might be able to get him. He's a interior lineman who can play all three positions. And then as a defensive end, now don't beat me up because, I only picked the Michigan players that I think could make a difference with our team. So that being said, I'm going to say Derek Moore, rusher on the defensive end, and then Jayshawn Barham, I think would be a great fit. He's really a really instinctive, violent, wild guy. And then Marlon Klein, the tight end, in late rounds. These players, I think, will be late round picks too. I think they'll be in our range. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
Marlon Klein's a good receiving tight end. Not so much a blocker unless you got him blocking on the slot. He can do that. And he's a big guy. You'd think he could block, but not in line. And then Max Bredesen, the guy that won the fullback of the year. I know we drafted one, but this guy's a sledgehammer.
Okay.
He's a tone setter. If he'll
All right.
go up in the hole, and so just some thoughts. What do you guys think about those players? And
Well, I'm taking your
appreciate
word for it because I have no idea.
it.
I'm taking your word for it. We're gonna start the draft show. Thanks,
Well,
Brad.
I just
Yeah.
borrowed Evan's altar. I'll let him tell me.
No, I've heard a couple.
When
of
when
these
does
guys.
the draft show start?
The first episode will be out a week from yesterday, so we're gonna shoot. We're gonna talk about quarterbacks and wide receivers today, and first step next week. So, which the whole conversation we had at the top of the show, it's like that's when you start the draft stuff because 2 weeks ago you think you know what the needs are, but now I feel like with their free agency signings, it's really pointing to a set bunch of positions. I would just say though, I know Moore from Michigan's a popular one. I just find myself with the edge class trying to decide what do they like, and I'd say Moore and T.J. Parker are two guys that you see a lot to the Patriots. They're bigger, physical kind of guys, not the get off the ball, speed maniac kind of.
Well,
trying to balance what that need's going to be.
Well, according to Evan, they're less concerned with that guy that has the size to set the edge than they are with just stringing the play out, and depending on their linebackers and safeties to fill in. So maybe because of that, as opposed to 5 years ago, they're more open to getting that pure pass rusher.
That's what I wonder. I mean, and it could even be a little bit of variety between the two, where Landry's not really that guy, but I think they like him playing on the left side, the offensive right, a little bit. Usually where they're going to run a little more, a little bit of a stouter guy, perhaps. Whereas Chason, it seemed like this was another point I wanted to make about Chason. I just think it was such a great fit for him. It was like just get off the ball and go get the ball.
Right. Right.
So I wonder how much of his production maybe they feel like, yeah, we let guys roam and play free, and they're going to make plays. Let's get somebody else. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I wonder.
I
how
always
they
go
view
back
that
to
spot.
the Belichick days when they had Jarvis Green, and whenever he was out there, he had really good production. But he was only out there in certain situations because really all he could do was rush the passer.
Right. Well, that was. I mean, I think he went from kind of being that rotational guy comes in on passing downs to then they trade Seymour in 2009, and now all of a sudden you're asking him to play base defensive end, and you see all of a sudden Ray Rice is going 80 yards to the house.
Randy's in Providence. Hey, Randy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Okay.
I think the free agency moves has kind of set up the Patriots fairly well, that they have serviceable, at least NFL starters at every position, and they can kind of pursue best player available. I'm curious what you guys think about the trade option for Grenard out of Minnesota, or Josh Sweat. It looks like he's asking for a trade today out of Arizona. Pair him up with Milton Williams. They win a Super Bowl together on the same defense, maybe. But also, we've got 11 draft picks. Do you think we have 11 roster spots? Or do you think that maybe they're looking to move up, if not in the first round, maybe in the second or third, and target specific players as opposed to throwing a whole bunch of players at this roster and see who makes the cut?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Randy.
I think it'll be a balance. I mean, I think we're all hoping that they're not going to make 4.
Yeah, you hope that
six-round
they don't
picks.
all make it. 'Cause,
That's going to be for a long Saturday.
I'll just say, I'm just looking at the pluses and minuses. So off of their 53-man roster, they've lost 12 guys from last year, and they've signed 8.
Okay.
So that's not the way to do it. I'm just sort of giving
Simple
it
math,
like an apples to apples comparison. No, I would not expect 11 guys. I don't expect everybody's draft class to all make the team. Matter of fact, I think that's kind of a sign of a bad team unless you had an exceptionally good draft.
Yeah.
They didn't all make it last year. I think did we have 12 last year? Mike?
Draft picks?
Yeah. We had a lot of draft picks last year. They didn't all make the roster. Now, generally, they stay in the system.
Yeah.
Like Braden Swinson's and
Right.
stuff like that. They end up on the practice squad. They come back and forth. They
The
go
Mr.
to the
Irrelevant guy.
Kobe Minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 picks plus Ponder, Chisholm, and Dupree that all were in varying
So,
capacities.
do they have the roster spots? No. I would say probably not. But I also kind of push back on the whole. Well, yes. I mean, every team has a NFL player in the starting lineup right now on paper.
Yeah.
Do you feel good about them all? No, I don't. I think you can get better in a number of spots.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're able to do that.
Well, plus it's like Gilliam could take Westover's spot. Westover's back, but it's that kind of thing where.
Right.
And I'd really look at the offensive line depth, who really beyond. I'd say Ben Brown. You feel okay if he has to get in there, but I mean he's your 6th guy, and after that, Lorenz Metz, who got here late, Caden Wallace, Mekhi Butler, Andrew Rupstich, Marcus Bryant, who maybe, and Sebastian Gutierrez. That's their depth. So I think they need, on Onwenu, maybe ending the last year of his deal, they need some depth. We talk about right tackle, right guard.
I feel good, and I understand his point. Like, they have a start. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, is Christian Ellis, like, is that a starting caliber player to you?
Yeah.
I mean, he started last year, and I actually think he played pretty well in the second half of the season, especially. I thought he was pretty active.
I thought he ascended.
But if you had Anthony Hill Jr.
Right. I don't know if he's an NFL player on everybody else's team, though.
Yeah.
I don't think they have an NFL top wideout.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of guys who are competent players.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like,
Yep.
that's what they had last year.
Yeah.
And they went to the Super Bowl. So I think you can always get better.
Yeah, I would just say generally I feel like that should be your goal in free agency, is that, you don't have the glaring need, but I would still say, to your point, Paul, the edge position where it's...
I was going to say, I don't think there's a lot of teams that would say, we're good. We got Harold Landry and Draymond Jones on the edges. I don't think there's a lot of NFL teams that would say, we're solid there.
That's the spot for me. But, I mean, I've also just think they've checked. Like, I mean, I do this before. It's not like you wait to see what they do and then say, yeah, it was great. Like, have a list of things, a list of positions I want addressed. They've hit most of those. They haven't really hit the edge as to the level that I would hope them to. But I don't expect them to fill every single box, and it is a strong edge class, so we'll see.
David Mass, I should say. Paul has mentioned the idea of signing Romeo Doubs several times before, and nobody seemed interested in talking about him as an option.
Oh, things have changed now, though, everybody.
I believe Evan...
He's now a Patriot, so everybody's on board now.
I believe Evan basically said that Doubs was essentially the same player as Booty and would not add anything for us. Now that we signed him, he's suddenly a younger version of Diggs, and it was a great signing. I'm optimistic about the signing, but I think we need to be realistic about what Doubs is.
It's funny, as I have such a memory of Paul being like, what do you guys think? Just Romeo Doubs. And I was like, I don't really know. He wasn't one of the ones I dug in on.
So I'm going to defend Evan a little bit too, because he did kind of do a mea culpa today. Yeah. And to the defending the emailer, he may not have heard that. He may have just written in. But Evan said he kind of thought about Doubs the way he was thinking about him coming out of the draft. And he thought he was kind of a downfield contested catch guy, not necessarily.
But now that he's a Patriot.
And unsaid, now that he's on the Patriots. But he did say, like, he's watched, in sort of doing some of his film and watching some of them, he's more versatile than he thought. So I'm going to give Evan a little bit of credit. Some of us that don't watch the film and just know the game.
Ooh, know the game.
By watching it.
Yep.
Once.
Yep.
Not 27 times.
Yeah.
Sort of felt like he was the versatile kind of receiver that could fit well into Josh's system.
The lesson for Evan is, after the guy's been in the league for 5 years, maybe you should get updated and not depend on his draft.
I tried to defend Evan. Fred's just taking rocket shots.
Hey,
no,
if you're going to give it, you got to take it.
No, but in all seriousness, I think the emailer, because it was duly noted how dismissive the panel was when I brought up Romeo Doubs about 2 weeks ago.
I think I was indifferent rather than dismissive, which I don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah,
that's your problem.
For you, because you're not indifferent about anything. Yeah. We could have an OTA practice on May 10th, and you're just like, I'm just really excited to get out there and see everybody. Like, when was the last time he was indifferent on anything?
No, well, I mean, sometimes
your indifference spoke volumes.
No, I was mostly just going off the Guardian cap he wore, and I was kind of, I don't look past that. I don't want.
That's a concern, not necessarily the Guardian cap, but his injuries.
Concussions.
Like he's been banged up.
Can I share just a handful of fun facts coming out of the thing a little bit?
Let's time for fun facts.
Alvete, a.k.a. Elijah Vera Tucker, said he's feeling good and is almost 100%, expects to be 100% by OTAs. Kevin Byard came to a deal with Craig Woodson for the number 31, which he's worn.
I saw that he was.
Yeah, Woodson's going to be 4 now, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. They did not reveal that, but I thought those and in true fullback fashion, Reggie Gilliam, he couldn't get 41 away from Brendan Schooler, so he's going with 44, which I think Andy Hart would agree.
That's a great fullback
that is just
number.
a pure
fullback
44 number. I like it. If we can just get him to wear a collar, we'll be right back in.
Let's go.
But Reggie Gilliam also said he met Drake May this morning, who is here today in the facility. So back from
it's too bad
Japan.
Sorry, Will.
So they're
My son's
they're back
stalking
at it.
him in
He didn't
Japan.
get him. He didn't get him, but just a few things coming out of there. Thought that were interesting.
Ryan and Quincy writes in, A lot of Patriots Nation have been wondering why the Patriots didn't do more early in free agency. With the addition of Byard, I hope that viewpoint starts to change. Looking at the 4 main additions we've made, I'm excited. The team has clearly improved in 4 glaring needs from our playoff run: guard, edge, wide receiver, and safety. There's still more work to do, but as a Patriots fan, I'm happy knowing those 4 areas have been addressed.
I got one of them. I think you improved at safety.
Yeah.
I don't think you improved at edge. I think you're treading water at edge and wide receiver.
Not at guard? You didn't improve at guard?
Maybe.
Okay. If he plays, if he's healthy.
What's Wilson going to do? Don't forget, you lost a starter.
I
too.
know, but Wilson's not going to play guard. He's going to go to
Right,
center.
but what
so
if Wilson's not as good as Bradbury?
Okay, no, but he's at the guard position. Did you improve?
Yes.
Okay, that's what he said.
Yes.
Okay, so you agree with him?
If he plays.
Right. Right.
He generally doesn't.
Okay. Half the time. One last.
That's not
half
good.
the time
half
he plays
half the
all
time
the time.
So half the time they'll be better.
Okay. But he'll make up for it this year.
Elijah
Our
Vera-
program.
Elijah Vera
Get him
Tucker.
over here. Get him under our trainers.
As Mike and I like to call him, Avatar.
AVT, you have come to the right
He's a
place.
terrific
Talk
player.
to Morgan Moses. You've come to the right place. Welcome aboard.
But Morgan
Welcome
Moses-
aboard. My name is Fred. Don't talk to
But
him.
Morgan Moses plays. He's a durable guy. He plays every year. He misses a game or 2.
I know. He's
Not
older.
seasons or 2.
I know. Those are major injuries. It's
I
not
know.
like- yeah, I know.
That's my fear.
Right,
It's
let-
not like he's missing it with a hamstring
Yeah.
pull.
The fact
he has
that
2 tricep
right, I know,
ruptures,
and
a
an
torn
Achilles.
pec,
A pec.
and an Achilles.
I know. Well, the fact that lightning struck him 3 times, it's not going to
4.
happen a 4th time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Is Romeo Doubs, this is the take he wants to leave for debate. Is Romeo Doubs right now, underlined in bold, more, less, or equal to Stephon Diggs right now?
Less.
To me, he gives us exactly what Diggs did last year, and he's only 25.
He's 26, and he'll play the season at 26. My ages are all what he'll be when the season starts. Right now, as he pounded home, right now, he's less. Could he be better? Yes. I think there's room for him in this offense. Maybe he fits just as well as Diggs. But right now, I'm sorry, I can't say he's better. When your career high is 700 yards and you're replacing a guy who has multiple 1,500 yards, 1,000-yard seasons, and as high as 1,500 yards, you're not better than him.
Yeah, it's
Right?
I mean, I think he's got all the physical.
But he
tools.
said right now, not
Right now.
career.
No, I
not,
think right now.
Not
Right
the
now-
body of work.
Right now, one guy had 1,000 yards and the other
Okay.
guy had 700. So
All right.
no, he's not better.
I mean, that's the simple way to look at it. But I think that there's a great amount
He
of
just called you
unknowns.
simple, by the way.
How does he fit in? Does he understand the offense? Is he able to do the things that Diggs did? Diggs had experience with Brian Dable. He was familiar with this offense, and so he had maybe a little bit of a leg up. I was just so impressed with Stephon Diggs last summer. His route running,
me too.
Coming off an ACL, I was like, this is what it looks like even off an ACL. We'll see if Dobbs has the same kind of
He did
impression to
everything
me.
you could have hoped for.
I think there's a chance that you can get out of Dobbs this year what you got out of Diggs last year.
Yeah.
But it's a projection.
Yeah.
He's never done that. So I can't say he's better or equal to Diggs today.
Right. Ford and Savannah. I know it's not apples to apples comparison, but do you think the removal of Diggs, who was one of the loudest leaders on the offense, is similar to when the Celtics removed Marcus Smart, allowing the Jays to step into more of a leadership role? It really worked for the Celtics. I know this is something Vrabel was pushing for Drake last year, and this move could open up that opportunity even more.
I don't hate the comparison, but I think that what the comparison is missing, I love to talk about the Celtics, is it wasn't about the benefit of leaving Smart out of the leadership equation wasn't because I wanted Brown and Tatum to emerge as leaders, because they got rid of Marcus Smart, the player. Like Stephon Diggs, the player, was very valuable for the team last year. They can replace the leadership. I have no doubt about that. Back to you guys before we took the break, talking about Vrabel's culture. I am a believer in that. And it might be Drake May, but what the benefit for the Celtics of moving on from Marcus Smart was because you no longer had this guy that wasn't nearly as good as he thought he was, leading the way, quote unquote. I'm the guy. I got to take the 3-pointer. Instead, it was Brown and Tatum taking big shots.
Yeah.
That's why you got better when Smart left. Not just because of the locker room stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, and I don't, sometimes that stuff is overrated, and we see how these players present themselves to the media. How are they presenting themselves behind the scenes? We get glimpses from time to time. But I think the personality difference is pretty extreme between, Diggs, who has that kind of alpha dog mentality, and Doubs, who seems kind of soft-spoken and, not really
someone
that
will
kind of
replace
guy.
Diggs, and I think Diggs was excellent in the locker room
giving the
last year.
speeches.
Somebody will replace that. I don't know if someone's going to replace 85 and 1,000. I'm hopeful that Doubs can do that.
Yeah. And even like beyond the numbers, it's just, the got to have it moments. Hunter Henry, he's the other guy in this. Is he going to be able to stay at that level?
Better, worse, same.
I mean, at this age, and based on how his season ended, you'd probably say he's probably going, he's
probably
trending
gotten
downward.
the best out of him that you're going to see.
That's why I get to the draft. I'm like, I want a tight end who can run and catch the ball, and I don't give a crap if he can block or not, but I want somebody athletic that, has a size profile that fits Drake.
Targets for me.
And you start to maybe, because that's what you need this draft, I feel. This year you're coming out saying, all right, we know Drake and Doubs. That's a relationship we're hoping to really foster, and that can be an engine for the offense. But I think you're going to need another guy, whether it's A.J. Brown, whether it's a rookie tight end, whether it's a rookie receiver, that you can start to build that long-term chemistry with Drake.
All right, Eldridge is on the phone. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Okay.
Okay. Paul, I'm sort of with you, man. I don't know if they got better with the new additions, but about the same. And Fred, I want to ask you a question because you brought it up a little bit earlier about Drake May. We got a poll in North Carolina with the season that's coming up this year. Is he going to regress or step forward? And with scores like 55-45, he going to step back because of the defense.
So 55% thinks he's going to get worse because of his opponents.
Opponents that we playing.
Okay.
And this year, you got Seattle, you got Kansas City, you got Denver, you got Detroit,
You
and
guys just
the
ask me, I'll
Rams.
let you
And
know
some,
if he got better after we watch him.
So again, of course it can happen. Anything can happen. But don't judge it by whether they won or lost the game. Judge it by how he performed against those defenses. And so we know how he performed against Seattle. Let's see how this year, if he's any better, and just how he handles it.
Man.
To me, that's improvement.
Yeah.
If he handles it better.
Yeah. I just.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, listen, anything, but I just think he's going to be better. But
Well, I hope so
and I
too.
think
That's
it's a
what I
mental thing. We've already seen the physical tools. Like it's hard to improve on that.
Yeah.
What we saw.
I
think
understand what you're
mentally
saying.
he's going to be better.
So going way back to the start of the
Thanks,
show.
Eldred.
I'm going to say the way that Fred just explained that, I agree with you now. I'll change my stance. If you're just going to say like he'll be better because he's going to know more and all that, like I agree with the way Fred put that. I'm just talking about the overall performance.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine he's going to be better than that. I think that is a career type year.
He's going to be a better all-around quarterback this year.
But he might be better with worse,
Right. Well,
worse
that's what
numbers.
I'm wondering is because we know what his weaknesses were. We know when he wasn't on last year, and I don't kind of forget about the playoffs. I feel the playoffs were.
Well, I don't.
Even when
I
he was
factor
in the
that
season, like when he was hitting, especially his rookie year, but when he had some slow moments, that's what I'm wondering. What does it look like if Drake regresses a little bit next year? Like, is it?
You'll know
And
it.
I think the mental thing you said, Fred, is great because that's where I would expect him to improve. Is to not have to always take the shot, like to take the profit, as they say. And does he have that mental toughness over the course
always
of the
like
game?
bail
to
out
hang
of the
in there?
pocket and look to move, that kind of stuff.
I mean, listen. Yeah, you always hate to say anything about Brady because there's no comparison. But he had bad games. He had or stretches of games where he wasn't playing well.
He did.
But his was the opposite. It wasn't the mental thing. It was something else was going on that pissed him off, and he was getting frustrated or whatever. But every good quarterback doesn't always have good games.
Yeah.
But it's your pattern. It's how you string it together and become consistent out there.
I'm so interested to just, Paul, to his point, I'm so excited to get back out there just to see Drake again because, unfortunately, you ended the year on a down note. And even though they won, 3 playoff games and they didn't play great in the Super Bowl, but that left kind of a bad taste in your mouth. And you're not sitting in this offseason thinking about all the MVP throws he had. You're thinking about all the misses and, the lack of production in the playoffs. And, so to get back out there and to, get a sense of him being renewed and trying to get back to that level that and the confidence that he had in the midseason, it's just I want to see it. I want to see us put that playoff run, which sounds weird because you went to the Super Bowl. But you got to put those performances behind you and kind of hit the reset button and like we've been talking about.
Better because I don't think there was a lot of bad throws in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was just like it seemed like he was confused more often in the playoffs than we saw during the season.
Here comes a blitz off the edge and I didn't see that coming.
Right. Patty's in Agawam. Hey, Patty.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if you guys read or heard the quote that Kevin Byard gave to Diana Rossini yesterday after he agreed to sign with the Patriots.
Is that the one where he came here for Vrabel?
No, she asked him what he thought about joining the Patriots, and he said, "Yeah, we're getting the band back together." And I kind of extrapolated from that maybe they are going to trade for A.J. Brown. So that's my question. Did you guys get any sense of that? And I'll take it off here.
Okay. Well, isn't she also the one that reported it's on the back burner, the A.J. Brown trade?
I thought that was Chad Graff.
Oh, that's Chad Graff.
The same. I think that's the same outlet, though, right? Doesn't Diana Rossini
Athletic?
do the Athletic?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Chad Graff?
I'm not. I've lost track.
Yeah, I mean,
of all
it's
these
possible,
reports.
Patty. That's a good pickup.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it as like there's 17 other Titans on the roster already, but I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe A.J. Brown was what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe Vrabel has a little bit of Bill Belichick in him in that he's going to do anything he can to piss off the Titans ownership. I took the guys that I had, and now look what I'm doing with them.
Yeah. I kind of have to say, though, just real quick aside, I kind of like what the Titans are doing this year, but every time the Bills have made a move, I'm like, what? And not that I'm rooting for the Bills or
What did the Bills do that you were confused by?
Bradley. I don't get it seems like they're desperate to me. Like Bradley Chubb traded for DJ Moore.
Oh, I like the DJ Moore trade. They needed a wide receiver.
They did need one, but
I think that's their Romeo Doubs. They needed a competent NFL player.
And it feels desperate to me. It feels like that's all they
but
got.
if that's what they need,
they needed it? It's not desperate. They re-signed their center.
They traded a lot for him.
That's as boring as you can get.
Traded a lot for him. I think Dobbs.
They traded a lot for DJ Moore.
I mean,
a pick swap
more than the Patriots gave up for Dobbs. Dobbs is younger.
Yeah,
more
but Dobbs
productive.
wasn't a trade.
Yeah, I mean,
right. I know.
But
that's what I mean.
But you gave him $20 million a year.
He's mercurial.
I mean, we could just get into.
I like it. No, keep it going.
I'm just saying. I don't like their moves.
I like their thinking. I'm just waiting for you to say something that makes sense.
I don't like their moves. I don't like their moves. I think they've been
know
hemorrhaging all their talent. They haven't drafted well.
Bradley Chubb thing. Did they give him any money?
I don't know what the numbers were, but
I would say that's a bad.
Think that's
that barely made a ripple on my time.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he had. I didn't even know they signed him.
There's evidence I'm right,
and I have mine tuned to everything that's bad about the Bills, so that's supposed to come in my timeline.
I would rather have Joey Bosa come back than sign Bradley Chubb if they gave him any money.
Yeah.
Now, if they didn't have to pay him any money, then that's a veteran move to me. That's fine.
To me, it feels
but
like
DJ
they are.
Moore, to me, I think, given his relationship with Joe Brady, it makes a lot of sense to me for Buffalo.
343.5 up to 52.5, 29.
3 years for how much?
45.
43 up to 52. 43.5 up to
43.
52.
3 years
29
for 43,
million.
so $14 million a year. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't like that contract for Buffalo. I think that's a bad move. I'm with Mike.
They've drafted poorly, and now they have to. DJ Moore, he's available. And yes, you can talk yourself into
DJ Moore to be a stiff. He's not. He pouted last year for whatever reason.
He's pouted a lot.
He
got traded.
But with Joe Brady, he was very productive. So now he's back
but he
in
still
a
wasn't
situation.
happy there.
They had a lot of weapons.
Yes, it was.
He was happy in Carolina.
Until they lost everybody and they sold off all their pieces. They traded McCaffrey. They traded Brian Burns. They traded DJ Moore. They traded all their pieces.
I don't like what the Bills
Listen,
do.
I agree with your overall premise. They're desperate.
But it's
I
because
don't
they
think
haven't
there's any
drafted
desperation
well.
at all.
They've been hemorrhaging, and they're getting
people are acting
29-year-old
like
has-beens that
They got a new stadium.
okay.
They got a new stadium opening up.
But Kevin Byard at 33 is a great signing.
He is.
But
Of
he's
course
one
he
of
is. I
one of
agree.
8. He's one of 8.
I agree. He's a great signing. I totally agree. There's no desperation there. He's way better than Jalen Hawkins, just like DJ Moore is way better than Khalil Shakir. They needed a competent NFL receiver. I don't get it.
I don't like it.
Okay.
All right. I mean, people act like they went 5-12 and not 12-5. They sucked and went 12-5.
No, it's this, Paul. It's that they're doing what happened to the Patriots. They haven't drafted well, and now they're trying to make their team through free
see the
agency.
writing on the wall.
And you get
You're
some
right.
stars,
And when you place,
But
when
they
you
didn't
get these
lose
guys,
Tom Brady.
you think they're buying low on DJ Moore right now? Like, are they going to get that
I'm
DJ
sorry,
Moore
like,
at 29? Like,
what's that?
He's
DJ
going to be
Moore?
the
Do I
guy
think
that puts them over the edge. They can't even throw the ball down the field.
What's over the edge? I don't really understand this.
To get to the Super Bowl.
Are they better
Get
or
to
worse
the
at
Super
wide
Bowl.
receiver than they were last year?
They're a little bit better, maybe for the moment, but we might get into
But
the
that's all that
season and be like,
matters. They're not building for
enough.
2029. They're building for 2026. They're better than they were last year.
And are they
at that position?
Yeah. But
Like
Ed
the rest
Oliver's
of it,
a year older.
they have
Bosa's gone.
now. Ed Oliver can't play.
I mean,
I thought that was a
he missed
brilliant
half the year
move
he
to
was hurt
redo his
last
thing so
year.
you could steal all his cap space.
Oh,
like
it's-
I
Let
just
Gilliam go.
So do you like what they've done? You think
Do I
Buffalo
like
is
what
on the
they've-
upswing right now? Is that what you're? Because I'm just saying I don't like what
No,
they've
have
done.
no
I feel
idea.
like they're circling the
first of
toilet
all,
right
I
now.
got to be completely honest here.
there you go.
I'll be completely honest. I have no idea what Buffalo's doing right now. I don't follow them. I don't cover them. All I can tell you is the DJ Moore trade gives them a receiver they didn't have last year.
Sure, I'll agree with
By
you
a
on that.
mile. There's no one even close on that roster who as good as he is
I just
today.
don't think it's enough.
It's like Diggs was for the Patriots last year.
I don't
They didn't
know.
have anybody even approaching Diggs. That's why that was a great signing.
No,
Like, if it's desperate, okay, I don't know. They didn't have any receivers. And they have Josh Allen. That's the difference between the Patriots in 2020 and the Bills.
Right. But
Like,
they
they
still-
didn't have Tom Brady anymore. In 19, when they drafted poorly and sucked, they won how many games, Fred? 12. You lose Brady, you suck.
I think I would
If they
much.
lose Josh Allen, he gets hurt in week 2, they'll suck.
I will take the Patriots offseason over the Bills offseason. I will take the
Oh, but
Patriots
that's
last
not-
draft
okay,
over
that's
their
okay.
draft.
That's apples
That's
to
what I'm saying.
grapefruits.
But when you have to go out and your whole thing is like, is Romeo Doubs like the savior of this team right now? No, we're not
DJ
talking about
Moore's
him
not
now.
the
I
savior.
wonder if
Like,
they can-
this
I
is why
wonder-
just
right.
push back.
Like,
That's
I-
not what they did.
I wonder how
They
much
traded
cash-
they traded from the 5th round to the 2nd round to get DJ Moore.
Yeah.
He's not the savior.
I wonder how much cash they have available for spending.
Not,
the
that's why I
Bills.
say it's apples to grapefruits. They're in a whole
They
different
have that
situation.
stadium open. I wonder like what their position is to spend cash.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm not threatened at all by what
yeah.
the Bills are doing.
Why should
I
you be
think Josh
threatened?
Allen.
That's why I said we should have the AFC
Because
East
they've been the division champs up until last year. This is the
Right,
team
so
that
why
you're
should you be
gunning for.
threatened by them? Why are you
Because
even
they
worried
had
about
because
them?
that's your primary rival.
I
That's
think
what you
I
do.
think they own space in your head.
No, not at all.
For no reason whatsoever.
They don't. Fred was the one who's been talking about the window closing for
I think
3
he's
years.
reveling.
He's been
And I
saying that
finally
since
come on.
I think he's reveling in
I
their
think
demise.
I finally come on, and I'm not even because I do respect Josh Allen, but I have to say,
But
if
that's
I'm the
all that
Bills
matters.
and I'm looking at the Patriots, they just went to the Super Bowl with Drake May. You haven't been to the Super Bowl since the '90s. What you wouldn't give to get to the Super Bowl and just get blown out. Like I think the whole way that this is
This is
unfolded.
the only time that I
feel
can
like-
ever remember you sounded like Sully. You
Who's
sound
Sully?
like Johnny Sullivan in Southie. Like,
Listen, I haven't-
they suck. They would kill to be us. Like, they don't. They want to be
I would-
better. They just that's all they want
Oh
to be.
sure,
This,
but
like,
I just
whole
don't like
thing,
their moves. It feels like
It's so like I think this is awesome.
This is
I think
great.
this is a
More?
side,
I
this
like
is a
it.
side of
I
Mike.
like it.
This is a side of Mike I've never seen.
I
think
like
this
it.
is awesome.
I'm sorry.
I
I just
wish you
think-
didn't save it to the end of the show. This is awesome.
I'm starting my GoFundMe to get the billboard. It's gonna be the bare naked Patriots ass with the words, "How's the view?"
Yeah, right.
Like they
How's the
They
view?
got a bunch of like veteran guys that they're gonna move on from, and yeah, they're not as good as they've been. I totally agree. They're not as good as they've been. Like Taron Johnson and Matt Milano, those guys, they're not part of the team anymore. They're 100 years old.
When all the teams used to have newspapers, we had Patriots Football Weekly. The Bills had one. It was called Shout. It was called Shout. And now, if they had it, would be Out because they're out.
Yeah,
We're in.
I don't think that they're. I said it the whole season last year. I just don't think they're all that talented.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, do you feel like the Bills organization was kind of like, what the hell?
Oh yeah,
the
we're
Patriots.
we're
you know
forcing
what
them
I mean?
into
Like,
bad decisions.
I just don't.
We're
think,
back to that.
See,
We're back to
that's,
that.
but that's my different thing. Like, I don't see anything that they've done that's been bad.
Yeah.
They're definitely not as talented as
But
they
have they
been.
done as much as they should have done?
Maybe they did as much as they could have done for the reason
that's
you
what
said.
I was saying.
That's a good one. That's
like
a good
they,
one.
They don't
yeah.
have the cap space
Right.
that the Raiders have.
Right,
Like they
right.
couldn't afford to take Maxx Crosby back.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they could, but they wouldn't because of the stadium and the cash.
Careful,
Like,
Paul. You don't want to,
No, like I think your
Yeah.
point about the stadium is
Yeah.
is valid.
Yeah.
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 But they're not as good as they have been.
Yeah.
I just don't think that DJ Moore is like a sign of desperation. Like you have no players, and you need to find some players
because they're desperate.
Well, okay. I guess if that's the definition of desperation,
I
acquiring good players is desperation. Okay,
also too, Paul. Like we talk about injuries. I mean, Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb's a bad
missed
signing.
the whole season in 2024. He's played 8 games in 22.
$14 million a year. That's a bad signing.
It's just
bad.
I don't
Flat
know.
out.
I'd be
I
concerned
don't
if
have
I
any
was-
gray. I don't
if I
have
was a
any
Bills
gray
fan.
area there. If
No.
they signed him for $14 million a year,
But they like
that's
those
a bad
those
signing.
old pass rushers.
Yeah,
huh?
but
They
I think that you
yeah.
do him on like a 1-year deal,
Right.
like
Yeah,
Joey
Chase
Bosa last year. He wasn't great for them, but
Yeah.
I can understand that. 3 for 43, whatever. That's a bad deal.
Why can't I think of their
That's
other,
desperation.
their other edge that they just drafted that hasn't really worked out too? I'm blanking. on
Greg
his name.
Rousseau?
Rousseau.
He's okay.
He's okay. But
He's
they're in desperate need of a good draft, and to have some young talent come in and pop, and to have that player that maybe they thought Kincaid was going to be when they took him in the first round is like, all right, this is going to be our weapon tight end we can move around for Allen.
Yeah. Free agent or draft guys, you don't want to go to Buffalo. Patriots, new facility. Where do you see this facility? This is where you want to
They
come.
got a new stadium.
Who cares? You
Their
play that
stadium
once
looks
a
pretty
week.
nice. It
once
does
a
look pretty
week you
nice.
spend in that
I
place.
noticed they have like this kind of gradient thing going on with their seats, so it's kind of like a red and blue. I don't know. It just looks kind of cool, like visually, how
good.
they painted their
Because
seats.
you'll see those seats a lot because nobody will be in them. Mark's in Rhode Island. What's up, Mark? Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yes.
Yes, it's your turn to talk.
Whoa.
Awesome. How are you guys?
Good.
Aggressive.
Just kidding with you.
Yeah, this is my first time calling. I've been a listener since last year. You guys do an awesome job.
Thank you.
Just want to start off with that. All right. Second of all, I got a point I have thought of that I have not heard mentioned anywhere that I think is really important, and I feel like it's really slept on. All right, so everybody wants to help Drake May, right? They think of the line, wide receiver, number one wide receiver. All right, that's all valid. You know what they're not talking about? Blocking for the running backs and getting the running back room going and picking up Reggie Gilliam is huge. And also the guy from Miami there. That's major. Like, we weren't consistent with running the ball. When we could run the ball good, I mean, Travion was ripping runs off down the field and Stevenson was bowling, but that's got to be more consistent. You get a dangerous run attack with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson going, and then those linebackers cheat up, then Drake will start cooking on those deep shots.
Sure.
Like, that is just not talked about at all. And it bothers me, honestly, because I love seeing Travion and Ramondre and those guys cooking.
That's where AVT comes in and a better offensive line. I mean, if you can have that balance, if you can keep the defenses honest, where they have to defend the whole field, then the offense has the upper hand.
Yeah.
And that's good point, Mark. Thank you.
Say too to Mark's point. I mean, I mentioned they weren't a good team in short yardage last year. Goal line, and the hope is that those guys can, help them get that kind of short yardage. But I agree with the point. I mean, that's what I said last season. They're sitting there being like, man, it'd be nice to have a real fullback. Those are little details that you couldn't really round out until probably season 2.
Tom in New Jersey about the Bills or the new Patriots argument. The Bills DJ Moore trade is like the Patriots days of getting Sanu and Cooks.
Well, I think he's better than Sanu, but that was a second rounder.
So first of all, the Brandon Cooks deal was an excellent deal for the Patriots.
He had 1,000 yards.
It was an excellent trade for the Patriots, and if DJ Moore, forget it. People can't be rational and objective, so I'm not going to do it. DJ Moore was basically Romeo Doubs last year. He's like 2 years older. He makes like $4 million more. Like, I don't know. If you want to just convince yourself that they stink, then they stink. So there's no accomplishment beating them then,
You
right?
don't need to convince me.
Right? So when the Patriots beat the Bills, I don't want to hear you tell me what a great win that was.
Well, they get up for us.
I don't want to hear you tell me that was a great win.
It's an AFC East.
Some of
all
us,
your wins.
Some
in the
of us
division
on this show on the Week 5 Sunday night game picked the Patriots to beat the Bills in Buffalo, and by us I mean me. I was the one that did that.
There you go.
Well, can you think that they're just trending downward and you don't think they stink yet?
but they're not
As long
doing
as
enough.
they have Josh
Allen,
Allen,
they're
they
a
don't
content-
stink.
yeah.
They're 11-12 win team. As long as Josh Allen
he's
is
going to have to
is-
lose
is-
a limb, I feel like, for them to get
Oh,
to
yeah,
the Super
he's-
Bowl. Like, that's what it's
I
going
mean,
to take.
he's great.
Like, it's like,
As long
Or
any
maybe,
team.
or maybe the referee calls
Yeah.
the play properly.
As long as you have one of the top 5
Because
quarterbacks.
they got knocked out of the playoffs 2 years in a row by the officials.
yeah.
L from Wisconsin.
The
You know,
losers win
normally I would worry about the injury for AVT. However, if there is one organization that I could be convinced that has a training program that's actively bad for players, it'd be the Jets. So that's probably why he tore 2
all it was.
triceps and a pectoral.
So, I tried to look. It seemed like he only played a couple years at USC, and I think the 2020 season was COVID, so it was short. And I was trying to see like where the injuries go back to college. Didn't seem like it, but I don't know.
All right, Q's in Atlanta. What's up, Q?
Hey guys, I got some smoke for a caller and also all the Twitter GMs and just pretty much all the fans in general. I know we're excited. I know it's the off season, but guys, please just let the people that do their jobs do their jobs. I forgot who called in earlier and said, well, Mike Vrabel should call the Ravens because we know Elliot Wolf doesn't do anything. Like he's sitting in the building, sitting in the meetings. Just shut up and enjoy the off season. Thank you.
Okay.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
Wow. Little caller smoke there, as he said.
We like yelling about each other about DJ Moore.
But I actually like the call of like I think they should be on the phone with Maxx Crosby. I
Yeah.
think they should be.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's
absolutely.
I don't think that was a bad call.
No, you should be on the phone to see what's up.
But I mean, something
I want my
dramatically.
GM
Don't you
lifting
think
every
something-
rock to see what's under
Don't
it.
you think something dramatically changed?
Yes.
Tuesday night.
Yes.
Like I don't see the Raiders getting 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby now. I think the price has had to have dropped.
They're desperate now.
Yeah.
Them
I
and
don't
the
think they're
Bills.
desperate, not like Buffalo. But I think that it's unrealistic for them to expect 2 first-round picks for him now.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So maybe you were interested. You know, like Dallas supposedly was willing to give a 1 and a 2. You know, the caller suggested a 2. I don't know. I kind of I would be skeptical that it's only a 2, but you don't know if you don't call. I liked that call that we got about
Why
that.
Why did the Raiders want to trade Maxx Crosby? I mean, that's a simple
Maxx
question.
Crosby wanted out.
He said, "I am not
wanted
playing
out."
here."
He said, "I want to trade. I want out."
And so does he still want out? After,
Yes, I
after
would
free
assume so.
agency?
So that's the question you have to try to figure out is he going to be a problem, or is he going to look at it and say, okay, I understand you did trade me, you did do what I wanted to do, and this was sort of extenuating circumstances. I'll be a good soldier. I'll stay. I'll play, and then maybe we can figure out something next year. Or I don't care. Tough break.
Yeah, trade me right now.
Yeah,
and if the latter happens. I think the guy that called with the second round pick, you might be able to get him for far less than the 2 firsts.
Robert says, that's the first time I've seen Deuce go back and forth. I didn't know he had it in him.
And it was one of my favorite moments. And I'll let you a little peek behind the curtain here.
Huh?
Mike went out at the break to get a quick sandwich. And I had said to Fred that there was something about free agency or whatever that you had said that I disagree with. I go, I don't really like to argue with Mike because he's not as fun to argue with as Evan, because Evan is just so right about everything all the time. He's a great guy to argue because he's so...
No, and I'll just be like, no, you're right.
And then Fred was like, no, you should. And unbeknownst to
What
me,
was
40
it?
minutes
I
later,
know,
we're
it's the
arguing about
DJ
the
Moore.
merits of DJ Moore.
What do you don't agree with me, Paul?
Well, like the whole. This is how you should do free agency. Okay. Last year they blew it out of the water, and then they went to the Super Bowl.
I think if you're generally in a good place, I mean, of course, if you have a huge need and there's a player available at that position, I think you should go for it. But I would say, I'd love to just generally speak, get out of free agency and not feel like we have a huge hole. Like I know there's going to be a hole, perhaps,
I don't
but
think they had any
just
huge
generally
holes
feel
going
like
in, but
we're
they
going to
had
have to
holes.
draft an edge to start. I mean, it kind of feels right now to me like you kind of need to draft an edge to start. But yeah, that's just
Yeah, and that's why I didn't really want to argue about it, because I know we come at it from
you were
different
wrong.
places. Like I don't really necessarily I can't do the Patriots fan thing and just say like Reggie Gilliam championship. Like I can't. So you have a fullback now, so you can do X, Y, and Z. I don't know.
Ned in North Carolina says,
who is the Seahawks fullback? That's what I thought.
Oh. Ned in North Carolina, I'm behind the time listening to Tuesday's episode. Just heard Evan say they were a team in the Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl team. That is Andy's hat size +1. Bravo, Evan.
Well, that's
That was
an Andyism. That's what we.
There's a word for that when you turn things around like that. There's actually a word that describes that word play.
Oh.
I forget what it is though. Anyway,
Words.
that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. That's it for the week. But the news will keep coming during free agency, and we're going to pretty soon turn our eyes to the draft. You've got the draft show starting up next week.
Next Wednesday.
Next week's going to be a big week for Patriots content. So
A.J. Brown.
Take my word for it.
Thought you had
See you next Tuesday.
Hey, this is Matisse. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure to follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else here that we do at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.